I at least wore red. That's the most effort I cared to make. But Dan, guys, Dan's here for this.
Yeah, I got the Spider-Man Christmas sweater on. Yeah.
He is here for the Christmas episode. By the way, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Happy whatever it is you celebrate. I hope you're enjoying this winter break if you have it. This is episode 199. This is it. Guys, we did it. 199.
We're on the precipice.
We're not even halfway there anymore. We're like three-quarters of the way there.
Oh, nice. All right.
Quarter of a mile at a time, something.
Yeah, something like that. But this is episode 199. It's a Christmas episode. There's like no new games out, barely, and just a really quiet time of year. It's all about reflecting. So we're just gonna have a little bit of fun, just chat it up. Don't know how long this episode will go. It depends on how chatty everybody's feeling. If you're looking at the episode now, you're going, well, Tim, this is how long it went. It went 3 hours. You guys lied. It's super long.
Yeah,
sounds about right.
I have Y'all knew more than we did before we started it.
Yeah, we have no idea right now how long this is gonna go. But yes, I hope you're enjoying the holiday. I hope that a show like this gives you a chance to just listen to something silly while you're doing, hopefully, nothing of consequence. Hopefully today's just a day of relaxing and doing something fun. If you're lucky, maybe getting some game time in. Maybe you're playing a game while you listen to this. Who knows? But we're glad that we're part of your holiday celebration, whatever that looks like for you. And we're going to talk about some stuff that we're playing and watching. We'll play a game at the end. Maybe talk a little bit about January, what's to come in January. Some games are coming out in January, although it's a little, well, we'll get to it. It's a little bit of a weird slate of games now that Alone in the Dark got bumped back a couple months. So January isn't quite as hype-filled maybe, but we'll see. We'll go over some January stuff at the end of the show as well. But to kick things off, guys, is there anything new outside of I wrote down a few games. Is there anything new that you're playing that we should even spend more than a couple seconds talking about? There's a game called Stealth Blade that I thought looked cool. That's out. I haven't tried it. RPG Maker Unite, which apparently uses the new Unity engine. So you have to actually have like, what is it? A certificate or license or whatever to use Unity. I'm not sure how that works.
Okay.
But that uses Unity for RPG Maker. There's White Sands, which is a strategy game.
Racist.
There's the new DLC for
racist about sand.
New DLC for Vampire Survivors called Emergency Meeting, which includes the help me out. What are they called? What's that game where you're the little guys trying to figure out who's guilty? Among Us. Thank you.
Among Us. Yeah.
Okay.
No one helped me. I helped me. Among Us.
I had no clue. It
was the.
To be fair, it was a pretty wild description. So.
Yeah, I did. I said emergency meeting. Come on, guys. The game with the
we probably should have gotten it from that. Yeah.
Who's guilty? Gosh, that was the best. And then Resident Evil 4 Mobile apparently is out and not amazing. So, all right. So those are the only ones that I could find, but that was earlier this week. Maybe something else has stealth dropped. Any other new games this week that are worth like, hey, let's talk about this? Am I missing anything?
I mean, this week is probably the best week that companies should release games, but they don't. They just don't really do it. So.
Christmas time, you have gift cards ready to go. You're ready to do some shopping on
Not
the
a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
Just drop something.
Mm-hmm. But no, it's pretty quiet. There is a Steam sale going on right now. I have not yet decided to partake from this particular sale, but it runs till the first week of January. I think like January 3rd or 4th, maybe. So I probably will.
I shan't need another sale from Steam,
Shan't.
It's been a couple weeks. Got to put a sale up.
Yeah. Even though I am gonna look in and probably buy something. So
yeah, same here.
I think every game that I still have on my wish list for this year, all but one is on sale right now, but they're all still above 30. So I'm like,
some of the sales are 20% off, 25% off, which is good. That's it's a discount, but in some cases that means it goes from $20 to $17. I'm like, all right, maybe.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
I'll think about it.
I'll think about it.
All right. So yeah, I didn't think there was anything new, but I do know there's some new movies we could touch on real quick before we get into just anything we're playing or watching.
This will be the whole episode. Is one of the new movies that came out. Kyle and I watched.
I can't wait. Yeah, let's jump right into it then. What did you guys watch? There's a couple of new movies out right now. What'd you watch?
Well, first off, the best decision I ever made of this week was sleeping in and skipping the Aquaman 2 screening that I had scheduled. It sounds like that movie is an abomination, and I'm glad.
Can you tell us real quick what you wrote in the notes for this movie?
Oh, the name of the movie that I called it is Aqua Bro and the Last Aquabro and the Lost Kingdom, and the dumb in Kingdom is the word dumb, like stupid.
Nice.
And that's what the
stuff.
movie deserves. Honestly, let's be real. The movie looks like trash. I've seen clips. Kids, especially people younger than us, have no restraint in movie theaters, so they'll just film clips and put it on TikTok. Yeah. And I've seen out of context clips on TikTok. The movie looks awful. Even out of context scenes. I know they're out of context, and sometimes you need context. But I'm just talking about certain action moments where, like, Black Manta punches Patrick Wilson's character. I can't remember his name from the first movie. He punches him and he goes flying. I forget. He goes comically flying through. Yeah, Ocean Master.
Ocean Master.
Like that.
Yeah.
Ocean Master. He goes flying.
His name is Ocean
Master. Maybe it's not that one. Yeah.
Yeah. But now he's like, he was the villain in the first movie, and now he's BFFs with Aquaman, even though they're like enemies still, kind of. The movie's not gonna.
The enemy of my enemy is.
Yeah.
Well, they're brothers. They're family, guys. It's the new Fast and the Furious.
You're right. So. And also, it's so funny to me that the main villain is the same. It's pretty much the same villain of, like, one of the main villains from the first movie.
He's like, remember me from the first movie that you beat up really easily? I'm back.
But I have a thing riveting. Now. I have like a new 5-dent or trident or whatever.
A 5-dent.
5 time.
That's what Snyder. We'll get to Snyder, brother. But that's what Snyder introduced into the Justice League, or what? No, was it? Yeah, I think it was the Justice League
or something. Yeah.
Where he was like, in Aquaman gets like a trident, but it's like 5 of them, and I'm like, that's just a fork at that point. That's not even a fork. Yeah. That's a 5-dent. It's not even.
This is a really special trident. What that it's not one? That's what's
the fact that it's not one. Yeah, Atlantis had this. Oh, so it's because Atlantis can't count. That's why.
Yeah. It's they have a different whole numeric system down there.
Oh yeah, that's totally different.
Would that be a quident, right? Isn't that the word? I don't know what it would be actually.
Centident.
What is Dwight? Dwight has a quad desk, right? Or mega desk.
Mega desk. Yeah, so it's a megadent.
Yeah, megadent. Yeah, I'm here for it.
So I'm glad I skipped that. All that to say, I'm glad I skipped that. And at this point, the only chance I'll watch it is if it's on a streaming service that I'm already paying for.
The only chance I'll watch it if someone hooks me up to one of those machines.
A Clockwork Orange machine.
Clockwork Orange, yeah.
Wait, hold your eyes.
That's not the only scenario that would get me to watch that.
Ow!
Someone comes by and puts eye drops in my eyes,
That was a real optometrist, by the way, in that scene, because he was risking his eyes actually legitimately drying out because they did it for real. I love that movie so much. Clockwork Orange, that is, not Aquaman 2. Anyway.
Good save.
Sure.
But anyway, Kyle and I did watch half an hour apart. I started ahead of him, but we did watch Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire, which is a very appropriate subtitle because nobody says the words Child of Fire in the movie at all one time.
Sure.
What?
So it's perfect. Yeah, nobody says that word at all.
There's not even I assumed there was not a legend. What's the word? Can't even think of the word. Like when there's a prophecy. I assume there's a prophecy of some kind, and the Child of Fire will come and do something. No, there's not even that.
No.
Not even a little bit. No. And there is a moment in the first exposition. Well, there's a lot. The movie
it's like Trolls 2 having no trolls in it, just goblins.
Yeah, accurate. I would say 3/4 of the movie is exposition, but the first part of exposition that you get, she says that she's a child of war, and I assume that he wanted to use that as a subtitle, but he can't put war in the title of the movie because it's a adaptation of something that he was writing for Star Wars. And you legally or whatever, he can't use war, Star Wars, whatever, in the title of the movie, or else he'll probably get sued.
He'll use Rebel, which is a very commonly used Star Wars word.
Sure.
And Moon, which
is
not at all connected to stars. I'll tell you
Moon,
that.
It's a Rebel station. Yeah, who knows?
I actually still don't know why it's called Rebel Moon at all. I don't
even know if they even ever go to a moon.
No, because the first planet
Rebel Moon.
Are there rebels in this?
Are there rebels in that? Yeah.
they're recruiting rebels. It's because it's literally Magnificent Seven. It's the same exact movie as Magnificent Seven and Seven Samurai.
Or Seven Samurai.
All right. It's interesting that I don't know, man, because I think the first farmer planet that we see, it's not a moon, right? That's a planet, and they have 3 moons.
He's building a whole thing now. It's
let me tell you, they wrote Rebel Moon because, or something.
Yeah,
I'm sure,
I don't get it. It's called Child of Fire because
Gonna-
there was a fire in one scene or whatever. I
The,
don't
the
know.
fire forges the childhood of some soul.
My God.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Guys, he's building the story up to get to the movie.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to
Come
the
on.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
movie
Later
2.
on.
Okay.
Right.
That's,
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, and,
part
when the
two.
4-hour director cut comes out, I'm sure it will fix how bad this movie is too. So.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, yeah, we thought it was bad. We thought it was bad, and the whole time we were roasting it.
listen.
So it was fun.
I don't want to sit here and shit on this movie for an hour because Lord knows I could.
And we will in current cinema.
And we will in current cinema.
Sure.
But
Sure.
like, no one wants to listen to me drawn or Jeff drawn on about how shitty this movie was. So I will just say, let me describe to you a scene, and you tell me if this sounds familiar to you.
Why don't you tell me?
We have to get off planet to join a rebellion. To get there, we'll go to a cantina, and we walk into that cantina. We'll do a pan shot of all the aliens in said cantina. One of those aliens will come up and try and start a fight with our main character and threaten them. That one will get dispatched, in which case they find a pilot in the cantina to fly them to the rebellion. Does any of that sound familiar to you?
Yeah, that sounds like something I've heard before.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
That
Wait, hold on. Star Trek. Right?
Yeah,
Star
that's
Trek.
yeah,
one,
that's what
yeah.
it is.
The one with the
That's
wizard boy, right?
I
The
think
one.
that's Undiscovered
Yeah.
Country.
And the bad guys are called the Imperium, and they're dressed like space Nazis, and that's Warhammer 40K, dude. So
That. Now that's a different franchise.
23% on
borrowing.
Rotten Tomatoes, guys. 23% of the reviews think it was good though. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's accurate for our friends too, because the people I follow on Letterboxd, 23% of them like this. So,
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Consistent
That's
numbers
accurate.
there.
which is
That's
like one
math,
out
brother.
of whatever, however the math works out, 8. I don't know.
too many.
Too many. One too many.
I guess the other thing that's worth mentioning, I don't even know if this is, they're so, like, in Justice League, like, when the Flash is around, you're like, boy, this is a lot of slow-mo, this is crazy. But, like, he's going fast, so it kind of makes sense that he's, there's some slow-mo going on.
Yeah.
This movie is just 2 hours and 13 minutes of masturbatory slow motion for no reason.
Yeah.
And, like, it's really something. It's a real choice, I'll tell
Yeah.
you.
By the way, there's literally a hippogriff in this. They don't even try to make it original. It's
No,
a-
they copied and pasted it from
Yeah.
Harry Potter and just
Yeah.
put it right in there.
I assume they hired the same exact VFX artist to do it. But there's a moment in there where it's like it feels like it's a 20-minute scene of a guy trying to tame it. And there's no payoff for that in this movie, at least.
Yeah,
The-
but we spent 20 minutes.
none of
there,
that
that's for
mattered.
sure.
By the end of the movie, none of that mattered. But he's
Sure.
doing like a slow-mo run to jump onto it, and it's like double slow-mo. He did slow-mo to the slow-mo. And I read a comment on Reddit of somebody that actually saw it in the movie theater, and because it's only screening in like 2 movie theaters across the country, which is what it deserves, or maybe even less is what it deserves. But apparently the person that was there said that everybody kind of laughed in the movie theater when that happened because it was the most unnecessary use of slow-mo they've ever seen. And it's true. Like when you watch it, you're like, why is that slow-mo? Like, why is
Yeah. It's cool because like a lot of the action sequences, especially the fight in the cantina, I'm like, boy, if this were just going at normal speed, this would be such a cool action sequence.
Right. Yeah.
But no.
That was
yeah,
for most beginning parts of the action sequences, and then by the end, I was like, these action sequences are not even that good. Even if they were
no.
full speed. Like
She
it was the
does take
camera
cover
cuts were
behind a
killing.
wooden table when laser guns are firing at her. I thought that was a pretty interesting choice.
Yeah.
Wood beats laser. You didn't know this?
Yeah, I have to fix
Yeah.
my rock paper scissors laser.
Yeah, that's
game, so.
that's their the space version of rock paper scissors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like listen. We could shit on this movie all
Listen.
night, but I feel like there's a couple of okay things we could say about it. What a
Okay.
cast! He tricked a lot of people and wasted a lot of people's time in being in this movie.
Yeah, I
See how I turned that compliment
Wait.
into kind of
Killed like half
I,
the
I
time.
saw what you
You
did.
see
That's
what I did
good.
there? Also, it ended at some point, and that was pretty cool too.
Okay, it was over. Yeah.
Yeah, it ended.
Uh,
Does
I have bad news for you, Kyle.
Yeah.
There's a part 2. That's gonna.
No,
Be, yeah. Oh yeah.
no.
Yeah. This one's called
Stargiver.
part
Yeah,
1.
that's-
This one's called part 1.
Oh
and
god, boy.
and you're gonna
And
watch
the
part 2.
monster's
And-
still loose. It's out there, and
You're gonna hate watch part 2 as well.
and the
I probably
director's cut,
won't.
of
I don't know. I
course.
got to be honest. I think I got my fills of this
Oh,
one.
yeah, you're not curious how things
Nah,
unfold.
Did
don't
he
think
already
so.
film it though? Did
Yeah.
he already film it?
Yes.
He filmed it all
yeah.
together. Yeah, and it's all part of the same budget.
I can't
so.
imagine this isn't getting a lot of views. I mean, it's a holiday time. Everyone's on Netflix streaming. It's featured
Right.
on every time you open up Netflix. It's in your face. So like,
I think it's gonna obviously do well viewership wise.
yeah, a lot of
yeah,
views.
yeah. I think for sure. Yeah.
And then part 2 probably won't, and that's that's what I
Yeah,
expect.
maybe. Yeah. I assume there will be some sort of drop off. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it'll be a big hit for sure.
How
the
does it
first
stack?
one.
I'm trying to think of other like mid sci-fi movies in recent.
I would rather
like
watch
John
Jupiter-
Carter.
I
John
would rather
Carter
watch
Goes to Mars.
Jupiter Ascending twice in a row than ever
Jupiter
have to watch this movie
Ascending?
again.
Ooh.
Yeah,
What
That's a
about like
brutal
John
movie.
Carter?
and that's a
John
bad
Carter,
movie.
Yeah.
Goes to
I
Mars.
never saw John Carter and Mars or whatever it's called. Yeah,
So I like that movie.
I thought it was pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fun.
I did not dislike that movie.
thought it was
but-
pretty
yeah, I
fun.
never saw it, so I can't.
The other one I couldn't remember the name of it. There was one that came out and then just disappeared. I think it was also based on a young adult fiction, like a lot of movies were in the mid 2010s. The Mortal Instruments.
Oh, we were just
Mortal
talking about
Engines.
this. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mortal
Kyle and I did
Immortal
mention that
Engines.
one.
Oh yeah,
Mortal
that was
Engines. Was that any good? It looked
Didn't see
okay.
it.
I never saw it. It
Oh,
just
okay.
the CG looked so.
It
Yeah.
just disappeared, right? It just kind of
Yeah.
like it was a thing. And
Yeah,
then
it
it
came
wasn't.
Never
out
mind,
on the
guys,
tail
never
end
mind.
of the
Doesn't exist,
young
yeah.
adult
Yeah, never
movie. You know,
That was Peter
like,
Jackson, right?
craze.
Didn't he
He produced it. He
He
produced,
produced
it.
it.
produce it?
Let's
Okay.
not-
Yeah, they put his
Let's
name on
stop
there
that.
real big. Yeah.
Yeah,
did.
Yeah.
He said
Yeah.
one time in a room, that might be an okay
That might
movie.
be
And they're
alright.
like,
Here's some-
producer
Here's some
Peter
money.
Yeah.
Jackson.
And from the and like in small print it says, and from the director of Poopy Butt Fire or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
You're like, what? The guy who did
So
Epic Movie?
diarrhea.
What?
So
Yeah.
diarrhea. Poopy
Oh,
butt
cool. The
fuck.
Bills won. Woo! All right, live reaction. Woo! All right,
Um,
so
yeah, I don't know.
I
I
have to
mean-
ask. Hello,
Hey, buddy.
hello.
Hey, kids.
Merry
Hello again.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, kids.
there are kids waving at us.
All right,
There are
Whole
kids
time.
waving
Merry
at
Christmas.
us.
They all say Merry Christmas.
Good night, Dad.
Merry
night.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas.
Merry Chrysler. Merry
Night.
Chrysler.
Love you too.
Mari Chrysler.
Murray
Murray's-
Chrysler, you guys.
Bill Murray's Chrysler.
Old Murray's Chrysler.
All the old men have been drinking. Kids, don't worry about it. Murray
Yeah.
Chrysler.
Murray Chrysler.
Chrysler.
I did have a concern about the guns in the movie. Not that they were used. I don't really care about gun violence in movies. But why do all of them explode a little when they're fired? It's really weird. It's a really weird stylistic choice. Like
I know.
every time somebody fired a
Sounds
gun,
cool,
there's like
actually.
a little
You got me sold in
explosion.
this movie now.
Oh, really?
Exploding guns. I'm gonna watch this.
They like
Yeah.
explode at the barrel, and you're like, why? Why? It's
Oh, that
clearly
They
makes
like,
haven't
the
figured
slow-
out
the
gun
slow-mo.
technology yet.
That makes the slow mo look cooler because it.
it does. It does. He's trying to do like a cool slow mo trick. It's so funny.
Oh.
They did a flashback of what's her face, the main lead, in like what she was doing during one of the main wars of the movie. Not Star Wars. It was a war though.
Can't say wars. It's an
It's
ongoing
a battle.
battle. Thank you.
It's an ongoing
Thank you.
struggle.
Yeah, I don't want to.
And,
It's like that
uh,
episode of Parks. It's like that episode of Parks and Rec when Andy falls into the pit and Leslie's lawyer is like, you can't say sorry. You can't say this.
Into
You
the
can't say-
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah. There's like a pointless slow mo scene where she's running to take cover, and it's just all in slow mo, and you're like, there's not even any bullets flying by here. Why are we doing this?
Yeah, that's another
it's
moment where I was like,
so-
this scene would have been really cool because it's very Warhammer-y looking. You know, we don't have a lot of Warhammer live action stuff, so I'm not like,
Not yet.
how dare this guy steal ideas from that? Even though also that, but like, it's
Yes.
it'd been cool to see that. Like,
Well, what if he did it well? Then you might have.
yeah, without like, I'm gonna slow mo while they're running towards nothing, and there's no reason for that scene to be in slow mo. It's like if they took out all the slow mo out of this movie, this would be a feature length, regular 1.5 hour long movie.
Yeah, for real.
I'm not even kidding. Yeah,
That's
It's
how
like an
long
extra
it is,
hour
yeah.
of. It's extra hour of frames. Just
it's
make
like
it
it's so crazy how much slow mo is in this movie.
And
Now-
for anybody that's like, well, Zack Snyder makes like pretty looking movies. No, it's just nothing but grays, light blues,
yeah,
and
he really
orange.
CG'd a lot of grays and oranges into this one.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
I would accuse you guys of being Snyderists. You know, you guys
Yeah.
are anti-Snyder haters.
Yeah, I know.
But
That's why I don't want to like.
But the
spend too long
general
in this segment.
consensus on the internet, I think in the world, is
Snyderists.
that this is bad. This
Yeah.
is not.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
seeing that on
And I-
Letterboxd mostly.
I
yeah.
argue, I urge people to see. It's like a low stakes viewing. You're not spending any money. You're spending a little time. What if you already like Snyder? What if you like some of his stuff? What if you even like the awful Sunker Punch? You could probably enjoy this. You know, like maybe it's
I forgot he
possible
did
that there
Sucker
might be
Punch.
something.
Oh.
It might be. There might be something to like in this if like you just like his style. You
This
know,
is definitely
So
closer to
I don't
Sucker
want to be a
Punch, yeah.
Jaegerist or a Snyderist right now, but But yeah, I feel like if you're gonna find your way to this movie, if you're a fan of his, and you're gonna accidentally see it, if it's being marketed to you, as it's been, and I think mileage is just gonna vary in a major way, of enjoyment on this one. So
all right, fair enough. Now the movie I am actually interested in, out of these two stinkers that you've highlighted, I'm really interested in seeing the Iron Claw. Can't wait to watch that one.
Yeah.
It's the Claw.
So this is, of course, about the Von Erich family. If you haven't, go check out the Dark Side of the Ring documentary episode on these guys. There's probably other stuff out there too about them. Anyway, really fascinating family and, tragic family stuff as well. But I won't say too much about it in case you go watch it. But Jeff, overall, it seemed like your reaction to this was quite positive.
Yeah, I quite liked it. It's not going to give you any new details outside of the Dark Side of the Ring episode. In fact, I would consider that spoilers at this point if you see the movie.
Gotcha.
It's because everything that happens, you're like, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Remember
that
too.
Maybe see the movie for the dramatic hit, and if you're interested in the story,
absolutely.
go watch the documentary.
But don't get me wrong, though. Like, half the theater didn't know any of the story. So, like, when something happened to Carrie Von Erich, and then the next time you see him in the movie, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people gasped in the theater when they saw him the next time.
It was like me when I saw Queen and Freddie Mercury dies of AIDS at the end. I'm like, oh my God, what?
What?
I didn't know this.
You're like, what? What is AIDS?
What is AIDS? I thought that meant to help someone.
I think the cure for that is money.
Call it that?
Yeah. I think the cure for that is money.
Is money? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we know that now. Yeah. He was just 10 years too early, Dan.
That's what it was.
On the opposite side of the spectrum, this is sitting at 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, 96% audience score. A lot of folks
I have a feeling audiences will love this.
A lot of folks saying that it's the best, wrestling type thing since The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke back in 2000.
I would say The Wrestler is like still the pinnacle.
Still top tier, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're different stories. They're very different stories.
Yeah.
Even though the themes are similar.
The Wrestler is, it's meant to be a tragedy. And so is this in a way, but it doesn't end on a completely tragic note where you're like, well, all hope is lost. If you know what happens to family, you know why I said that. So it doesn't really feel like they all live happy ever after. So it doesn't really feel like it. And when they roll credits, that I feel like I'm a blubbering mess and I can't recover. Like it, it ends on more of a hopeful note.
That's cool.
And I really like, especially by the end, because the entire movie is kind of has Bill Tench from Mindhunter. He plays the dad, and he's the type of dad that's like, no tears, better not see no tears.
He gets typecast for a reason, I think. Hey, we need someone
absolutely.
stoic who's kind of burly and kind of fills up a doorway.
And he's got that
voice,
that a dad would have. I don't know, that commanding.
Yeah, and if you put a southern accent on it, he's from Dallas. Got it.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he's been emphasizing on his kids, like, you better not cry. It's if God decides it's time, then it's time. Blah blah blah. So the whole movie, you see Zac Efron kind of repressing the way he actually feels, and then it comes to kind of a head of sorts near the end of the movie, and dude, that's when the tears start flowing for the audiences. I wasn't alone in that for sure. A lot of people were, feeling very sad by the end of the movie, but the final shots of the movie, I should say, are the ones that are like, oh, there's some hopeful stuff to think about.
Holt McCallany. I had to look up his name. I was like, what's that guy's name? The dad, Holt McCallany.
Holt McCallany.
I
don't know, something like
that. Dude, talk about a good, crazy cast though here too, right?
Yeah, this cast is
Jeremy Allen
insane.
White from The Bear, and from what was he? He was in Shameless before that, right?
Yes, he was. That was like his thing. Yeah, his main thing. Yeah.
Anyway,
so what's up with Zac Efron's like chin? Is that just his chin now? Like,
no, he was in was it a snowmobile accident or a car accident?
Oh.
And he needed jaw surgery, and the person that did it messed it up. And now it looks fine. But like if you look at pictures of him on the red carpet for this movie, he looks like a normal dude.
People thought he got plastic surgery, but it was actually reparative, I think.
Yes.
And I thought that was prosthetics for the role, because that family does have some pretty big chins, they're chinny, individuals.
They're a very chinny family, yeah.
Yeah, so the timing kind of was impeccable in terms of we screwed this up, and it's like, well, it actually kind of looks good for this movie, but I wouldn't want to walk around with that one for sure.
It's interesting that in this movie, that Zac Efron has the body build of what I would say Carrie Von Erich had, and Carrie Von Erich, played by Jeremy Allen White, has the body build that Kevin Von Erich had, who's Zac Efron's role. Because Zac Efron bulked way up, and Kevin Von Erich was always a scrawny buff guy. He was never a bulky guy. And meanwhile, Jeremy Allen White is like his character was like if you look at because he did end up going to WWF in the mainstream and stuff like that. And by that point, you know, it was steroid city then, and it might still be to some extent now, but you see a lot more skinny guys nowadays. But back then, it was like everybody was using steroids, like to the point where they had to go to court over it and stuff. So like he was clearly voided out, but Jeremy Allen White was not. So it was very interesting. But like looks wise, in terms of like hair and stuff like that, Jeremy Allen White looked and to me at least acted the closest to his counterpart, his real life counterpart. Gotcha. So to me, he was like the perfect casting among all of them. Mara Tierney as the mom was fantastic too, because she was just kind of like, you know, talk to your father about that and stuff like that, and just kind of, you know, the whole family's kind of repressing a lot of feelings and stuff, and she's just like super good at like hiding those emotions and stuff. Lily James was great too, as Kevin Von Erich's love interest, Zac Efron's love interest. She's awesome. She's from Baby Driver and stuff. Very attractive girl. There's a dude that looks like Kyle that's in it. It's great. He's one of the brothers. Yeah.
I meant to break it to you guys. I actually started acting in them.
Yeah. Kyle looks like Zac Efron, confirmed.
No. There's
good for you.
Oh, good
brother,
for you.
His name is Mike, and
Good
like as soon as I saw the picture of him in the trailer, I was like, "Is that fucking Kyle?"
Okay. I think I'm seeing it. I see it.
It's because of the '80s hair. It's not. I don't think if we see him now, he would not look like Kyle. But it's the '80s hair that made me go, "Is that fucking Kyle right there?"
The trailer for this movie gave me vibes of Foxcatcher, just in terms of like it's a real story. You know, it's heavy.
Yeah, but it's
I
not
don't
like
know if it's similar.
Foxcatcher is very deliberately paced, where you're like. You can hear yourself breathing through a lot of
of
points.
Slow.
In that movie.
It's so slow.
I love
but it's
the
so
movie,
good
like,
too.
yeah,
But it's so
very
slow.
Good.
Yeah.
They're just constantly building up tension in the silent moments, and this is not that kind of movie. Don't get me wrong. Okay. There's some really cool camera work in this movie. Like clearly he's trying for something. That's where the A24 vibes will kind of come in there. It feels like an indie movie. And there are moments where when they're sending the next scene to a match that's happening, that's advertised, they'll use the 80s wrestling aesthetics of like the neons and like the like the 80s like shitty synth and stuff like that. Like they even had a guy playing Ric Flair who was like what the movie was advertising as like the peak of wrestling at that time, and he was. They even had an actor playing Ric Flair doing a Ric Flair promo, a monologue. Didn't really sound like Ric Flair, but he had the spirit of Ric Flair completely down. Like the guy was like just delivering the promo so believably, even though he didn't sound like him or look like him. Like his acting was like, I was like, I buy this. This is Ric Flair. This is the bad guy. This is the world champ right here.
So last thing I'll ask you before we move on from this, let me ask you this, Jeff. Is this gonna get awards, like award recognition? Is this gonna get Oscar recognition?
No. It's a busy year. No, it's not. Yeah.
That's too bad. It's exciting though to see kind of a dark corner of something that not many people know about. Dark corner of wrestling from this age. People are more aware of it in the late '90s, early 2000s. That everything kind of hit the mainstream. But before that, it was a little more of a niche thing.
It was especially niche because it was where I am now. I'm in Dallas, Texas. So like this story is a big deal to this area. So you can imagine it's probably. I mean, they had their world premiere here in Dallas at the famous Texas Theater where what's his name, the guy who assassinated JFK or Lee Harvey Oswald was caught. So I mean there's a lot of history with that family in this state and in this area, so I was not surprised at all to see that my theater was almost sold out, even though it was like a smaller movie theater and stuff. Like people are just showing up for this movie because of the history here, you know. And that's super rad to see. Although I do wish I wish there were other movies that could have come out in this area, but whatever, it is what it is. It's fine. Yeah. It's that time of year where like award movies are supposed to be hitting theaters, but they always hit Dallas like freaking January. And I'm like, just give it to us, man. Whatever. It's fine. I'll be fine.
It's one of the prices you pay living in Texas.
It is fine.
You know?
It is. Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
During a time of a dying moving industry. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
All right, so there's also a lot of TV show stuff out. So let's fly through some of this real quick. Let's start with South Park. I know, Kyle, you definitely watched this too, and I think, Jeff, you watched it. South Park, not suitable for children. Dan, I don't know about you, but I didn't watch this one. I don't remember if I even knew this was happening. Like maybe
no one did until the day it was out. Yeah, they kept the secret.
Okay.
And it's funny, it's right around the time they talked about the South Park game that comes out in March too. So like there's a little bit of a South Park thing, a little wave happening here of South Park stuff. But overall, yes, no, in between, how is it?
I think I liked it better than the last couple specials, and I liked the last couple specials. So
yeah,
I think it's probably my favorite of the last few. Yeah, it's very, very funny. They really went for it in this one. A lot of jokes, a lot of full frontal nudity, a lot of male nudity. Yeah.
During casual
yeah. Penises are funny, guys. I don't know. They know it. We know it. They lock it in.
They are weird looking.
Yeah, it's super funny, man, and it's they always have their finger on the pulse of hot topics, and this one was like a real big riff on like OnlyFans, and the meta joke was like, well, it's not for kids, so they're not watching it, as if kids don't go out of their way to get involved in things, that they're not supposed to be.
It's not for kids, so kids know that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not for kids. They know that. They're not watching it. That's like the whole joke of the whole thing. And very, very funny stuff.
Oh, man.
A lot of commentary on like teachers who like get caught using OnlyFans and yada, yada. It's just...
by the way, like I'm glad they're making fun of that because there are a lot of really... I like to think well-intentioned people, but who have the dumbest view on, well, your kids won't watch it. They see that it's for only 18 and over. They won't. It's like, you're so stupid.
And it's very rich coming from South Park, where a lot of us spent a lot of our days watching it over at friends' houses because our parents wouldn't watch it, as kids, so. Yeah. But it's very, very, very funny. I thought it was great. A lot of great jokes too. But something I'll definitely watch again,
Okay.
Yeah, they found a way early on in the show to like kind of skewer how there were many parents that were at a rally bitching about OnlyFans, or not just OnlyFans, but like just 18 plus content in general. Mm-hmm. And they were kind of like, well, how dare you guys not take responsibility for this? And like clearly it was in the tone of like parents aren't taking responsibility at all. Like, I mean, so they're skewering parents kind of like just shirking their own responsibilities and stuff. And like, and that was the first part of it. And then the second part of it is how nobody else wants to take responsibility either.
No one wants to.
Yeah. And we all just silently go, okay, just let it, let it happen.
Just work itself out. Yeah.
I like anything Randy heavy. I love Randy. He's got to be a top 5 best character in that show, if not top 1, period. And it's very Randy heavy. And he's just as dumb as he could ever be, So
it's like an hour long, if a little more special, kind of like the last like 5 or whatever have been. And there's like 2 separate storylines going on, where one is about this energy drink called Cred that is being pushed by
they're making fun of
social media influencers like
Pride, or is it Pride?
I don't remember the Logan
Prime.
Paul drink.
It's Prime by Logan Paul. Yeah.
They're making fun of that.
Yeah.
Calling
so
it
making
cred,
fun of that,
which is very funny because the kids will be like, I don't have enough cred, blah, blah, blah. Like they'll always be like, I don't have enough cred
so on the
to
nose,
be popular. So like that's, one of the storylines. And then storyline B or A, whatever, they're equal, is Randy doing OnlyFans. And
oh my god,
so
Randy's
funny,
doing OnlyFans.
Yeah, I'm trying to supplement my income. Yeah,
it's like the whole thing with like Bang Energy, where it's obviously a drink that's geared towards kids, but it's got too much caffeine even for adults in it,
Right.
So, and so like kids aren't not supposed to be drinking it, but that's the only people who are drinking it, So it's just like it's just a super, again, like it's all on the nose, but just because it's also like culturally relevant, it's always surprising that they get it so right and so on the nose and so perfect,
And that they're allowed to publish this on anything these days.
Yeah, while I'm watching it, I'm like, this is why this is not on Comedy Central anymore. You can't, you couldn't air this on a 9:30, 9 o'clock slot on a Wednesday.
Randy has his dick out so much in this that it's just not possible. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's casually, like he's walking into office buildings going, I'm here to see the manager of OnlyFans.
Well, and there's just a lot of like,
it's just right
there's just a lot of pedophile jokes and stuff like that. Like just the stuff that just wouldn't fly, I don't think. Even though they pushed the envelope a lot in the past.
Oh my God, the minors joke was so funny. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Look at it. Look at the picture of the minors, and it's literally minors. Like
it's not minors, but minors.
Like ER.
Minors.
Oh my God.
That's the only people that digest your content is minors. It's just so good.
Jesus.
Got a very niche audience of minors. Like,
Yeah,
coal
it's funny
mining,
that they
I get
wouldn't put out. This is so non-Christmas too. Like it's just like there's nothing
Yeah,
to do at all with the
Sure.
holidays, even
Nothing
kind
about
of.
the holidays.
The
Not even
timing,
a
I would have
Christmas tree
assumed
in
it would have
a
been
house.
Right?
nothing.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
release something a week before Christmas. You'd think there'd be a little festiveness.
Yeah, you think
to
Mr.
it.
Hankey's
That
You're
in
gonna-
and of
like,
itself,
it's gonna be minor
that in and of
jokes
itself is
and-
funny. Like that in and of itself is funny to me that they
Yeah.
released it right,
Yeah.
right around Christmas
Yeah.
time, and they're not talking about like that by itself is also like
yeah, we
it's
don't feel like talking
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Speaking of
Yeah.
stuff that's funny, Gary Goldman, one of I think the more, I don't know if it's fair to say underrated, but definitely more unknown comedians out there. He's been around for a long time. He's so funny, but he has a special out on HBO. I'm sorry, on Max called Born on Third Base. I'm pretty sure this special isn't brand new, right? Hasn't this one been around, but now it's just coming out on Max, or is this one brand like did he just
don't know.
record it?
It was recorded in like June or July. He says it.
Was it? Oh,
during
okay,
the-
okay.
Yeah. He says July during the show, and he goes, and then I'm going to overdub whatever year it is. So people watch this 2024 and be like, oh my God, like he recorded that so
He
recently.
just did this? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's out. I assume it's more excellence because he's
Yes.
every special of his I've heard is
He's
least
always
good,
had
if not-
a way of like pointing out the some obscure I don't know the obscure design of how we talk
Yeah.
you know, in the English language, and this is just more of that. I just love the way he deals with like words like threefold. No, man, fold it 2 more times. That's how serious I am.
Yeah, he just picks the most like
Yeah.
like just nothing you would ever think to like be like I'm gonna like unravel this into a joke like
Yeah.
and he just goes like I don't know his brain is just
Yeah.
unique.
That
He's
Hitler
little, and it's
shenanigan
little
thing
little
that,
moments where he'll
that-
say like that really get what does he say? You know, it doesn't bother me that much. It doesn't really get my goat. Well, I don't really have a goat. And like he just pauses for a sec.
Yeah.
Who thinks
He-
it's-
there was something that he was diving into, and I'm just talking about the things I remember from it because sometimes it becomes a blur when you're laughing so hard. But there was a bit where he's talking about people that use the word esque, like to Kafka-esque.
Mm.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
people
Sure.
that use that word, some of them should not be saying Kafka-esque. They're not that smart. They're more like ish people, Kafka-ish. Okay, I know what you're saying.
Kafka-ish.
And then so he says that very early in the special, and then later on he does start using ish and esque in sentences
Mm.
when he's describing a setup,
Oh,
to where that's a joke in itself because it's reminding it's
Right.
a callback.
that's a good
it's
callback.
just a really
That's a
clever
nice
callback.
subtle callback. I like
Super
that.
subtle. Like if you're laughing, you're missing some of the setup. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember much else, but I don't want to obviously recite it word for word. Well, let me just quote it word for word for you.
Here's my favorite 3 jokes.
Here are my 3 favorite jokes from.
I will say this. I highly recommend if you have Max, not only to watch this because I want to watch this one too, but go watch The Great Depression.
Yeah, that should still be on there. Yeah.
It's really good. Like not only
Yeah.
is it funny, like he's got a lot of funny jokes, but you know, and I don't mean this to sound like there are some comedians who put out a special and it's overly serious and it's not that funny. It might be interesting, but it's just not that funny because they're talking about serious topics. I've seen a few of those specials in recent years. He does talk about a serious topic of depression and anxiety and being suicidal and some of the stuff he went through, and it's also hilarious. Like he openly makes a lot of jokes about it while talking seriously about it and just letting them know like this happened to me and you're not alone, but also here's some hilarious stuff about it. So it's just really, really good. I thought it was a really brilliant special.
I agree. I'd never seen anybody talk about clinical depression in such a way. It's like in extremes. Like, you know how some people just wake up and they're like not in a good mood, so they just go, I'm depressed.
Yeah.
And you might be, I don't know, talk to somebody. But you might be, but he's talking about the extreme sides of depression where you don't get out of bed for days and like you don't even have the energy to commit suicide. Like you just don't have energy for anything. So he's talking about the type of depression where you go in and get like your brain shocked and stuff like that. And whatever you call that, electroshock therapy, which is still effective apparently because it stimulates the brain. And he was talking about how euphoric that was and all that stuff. And like, it's just a very insightful and funny special. Probably one of the best I've ever seen, period. And you know, I'm a comedy special slut. Open my legs for that stuff.
It's also it's just a deeper one. It goes deeper on real stuff and it was funny.
Yeah.
So it's good. All right, let's do a quick double feature from Disney. We got Percy Jackson as well as Marvel's What If have both premiered on Disney Plus. I would assume these are both recommends just based on the general vibe I've seen out in the ether about this. I already loved season 1 of What If. I can't imagine I won't enjoy this season.
Yeah.
What if Percy Jackson came back? Well, here you go.
What if?
He's here.
Yeah, well,
What if Percy
here we
Jackson
are.
was an adult? I'm an adult.
Yeah, obviously they couldn't have Logan Lerman, was that his name? Logan Lehman?
Yeah, that
No?
was the movie guy. Yeah.
He was the original one, but he's a little too old for that now. So they recast kids, and we don't always like kids in acting, do we, guys? We hate kids,
No.
right? Kids are the worst.
Yeah, they ruin everything. No.
They ruin
Literally, they ruin
Um,
your life. They ruin like.
That's what we learned from South Park.
Yeah.
But I've heard overall Percy Jackson show is pretty good. The kids don't ruin it, but I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, I would say that's fair, but also I don't have a lot of stock in whatever the hell Percy Jackson is. I don't know anything about it. So if they're ruining anything from the books, I don't know or care. So it's decent so far, but I'm also not going in with any like I'm expecting to be blown away.
It's targeting kids, right? Like it's targeting my
it
like
is.
upper
It is.
elementary, lower junior high age kids. I've got
it's a
very
children's
much
book,
so.
right? Like,
yeah, my kids
what
love
it is,
these
right?
books. They love these books.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
they're
It's like Aragorn and
it's like
and Golden
between-
Compass and
it's,
like
yeah,
all those other
exactly. It's exactly 'cause it's not as
yeah,
serious
Lion,
as
the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Like I feel like they're all kind of the same audience. Yeah.
it's not as serious as like Hunger Games or Divergent in terms of like what those books those get pretty dark.
young adult.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
are more
young
young
adult. Yeah.
This
those
is a little bit
little
younger.
aged up. Yeah.
You have
So-
the actor from remember the Adam Project with Ryan Reynolds and the kid that played the young version of Ryan Reynolds. So it's the kid from that movie who was great. I thought he was great in that movie. He's Percy Jackson now, and he's like the right age, but you know all the kids are going to be like 18 by season 2. So what does it matter? That's how time
Kids
works.
grow
Dude.
quick, dude.
Yeah, they really do. They're gonna have to start
That's called
shooting
growth
season
spurt,
2 like
brother.
right now because the CG looks so good, and I assume it took them the most time probably.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Edge is in this too. And he shows up later. I think he plays
I
Ares.
saw him in the trailer.
He plays Ares.
Will he at some point
that's
have his
Kratos,
music
dude.
play? Because his music is like the best entrance music in
Yeah.
wrestling.
You
it
think
is.
you know me? And then he comes out and he's like,
You think
all
you
the
know me?
smoke.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
smoke comes up. Yeah. And then
Elson's got the best.
then that
Elson's got the
Alter
best.
Bridge song plays. Yeah, it's good stuff.
What about What If? And I know Jeff, you're definitely watching it. Kyle, you watching What If?
I watched
as
the
well?
first
And
episode. I didn't get to the second one today.
Oh man, second
okay.
one's so good.
First one was very Blade Runner-y. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of Blade Runner-y stuff.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
And second one
What-
just came
what
out
if-
today.
What was it? Nebula was Yondu,
Nova.
I guess, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much. Well, Thanos was taken out. I think the story was Thanos was taken out by Ronan somehow.
Mm.
So Thanos never adopted her. So she decided to play kind of straight, and she worked for Nova Corps. But then by the end of the then she ends up having more Yondu characteristics by the end.
It
of
becomes more of a pirate captain-ish.
Yeah,
than
like a Ravager type. Yeah,
That's cool.
So that's the first episode. It's really cool. A lot of surprising cameos. Like I mentioned in the chat.
The animation looks so sharp, too.
Dude.
It's so good.
It's
looking,
good.
you know?
It looks
Nice.
real good. Yeah, I can see why it takes so
Nice.
long because I think season 1 was 2020 or something. So
Mm.
I get it. They had people show up from like the guy from Jude Law's character from Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
It's like a
the guy with the
hyphenated
hyphenated name. Yeah.
Yeah, hyphenated name guy number 1.
Yeah.
So he's in it, and like it's just funny that the show is and Howard the Duck, Seth Green, Howard the Duck, is in it too. So like it's just cool that they're bringing in characters that I'm like, oh, I didn't expect them to be in this, and then that tradition carries on through episode 2.
Nice.
They're dropping it like once a day through the next like 7 days now, so it's like 9
Interesting-
episodes.
okay.
Interesting tactic.
Got it.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen anybody
Okay.
do this before,
See,
yeah.
since
You know,
they've-
I like this a lot.
Wanna
They get
get
to
the
play
hope.
around with some of their more wild ideas and just try
Yeah.
different things and
Yeah.
different animals.
episode
I
2
like it a lot.
is bananas because
It-
it's
it-
like takes place in like the late 80s or early 90s
Yeah.
when Peter Quill's a kid, and Ego does get to adopt him and like take him in and like hone his powers and stuff. So he starts attacking Earth, and Earth Avengers are not the same then. So we're dealing with a lot of different heroes like Michael Douglas and like all these other people.
Wait,
Yeah.
are you talking about Earth or Earth?
Welcome to
Okay.
Earth. Yeah.
Depends on
Okay.
which universe we're in. One of them's Earth. One
Sure.
of them's Earth. Yeah.
Earth
So
636.
so episode 2 is so fun, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, it's so funny that these 30-minute episodes within their concept feel way more confident than some of the TV shows and movies that we're getting proper right now. So I'm talking like these 30-minute things that they can commit to, these like wild concepts and wild ideas and mishmash ideas.
Yeah.
I just, for whatever reason, it feels so confident in where it's lacking, like in their main story. So it's like, boy, I really hope that they figure that out.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Well, I mean, some big changes are coming. Some big changes
Yeah.
are coming because, you know,
Why?
certain
What
people
happened?
are not going to be.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Let's just
Somebody's
say
At
busy.
least we have Groot still, guys. We're
what
all
if
right.
what
Wait.
if all of Marvel's
Oh
main
no,
cast
I'm
were
reading
breaking
something
along?
right now.
All right, so I'm looking forward to watching this. I like this a lot.
You guys will like it, yeah. It's good stuff.
Let's jump into some quick hits since we don't have any new games we're playing. Anything old we're playing? I want to start, Dan, with you because you just finally got 120 stars
Finally.
in Mario 64. By the way, if you don't yet, go check out Dan on Dapper_Chocobo on Twitch. It's a lot of fun. He's got a cool community there. They do a lot of fun little things. Dan does a great job. I've only dabbled in watching actual streamers very often, Dan. So I don't have any authority to say this with, but I think you do. I think yours is really good compared to the few other ones that I've watched. I'm like,
It is extremely hard to break into this thing, and it feels like you kind of claimed a corner of it pretty easily. I would say. I'm sure it was hard. I'm sure it was hard work, but you seem like you have a real natural knack for it. So.
Nice little. You do fun little games and activities, and you interact in funny ways, and you care about people that are there. So props to you. But how does it feel, man? 120 stars, and you did it on stream. That was fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's something because you're just like it's like it's not easy, and the game is not easy because like the controls are dated, and like when I say controls, it's like I mentioned before, it's mainly the camera. The camera really fights you.
That noise when you turn the camera.
And it's just kind of like swinging, but then it kind of swings back a little bit, but like it's trying, and you're like, no, seriously, stay here, and it's like nope, and it's kind of moving. I don't know, man. It's got a mind of its own. But yeah, I don't know how many streams it took altogether, but it was pretty satisfying, yeah, because I haven't done it since I was a kid. Like, I mean, I got my N64 over there with the cartridge with, a save file that has 120 stars back in 1996, 97, Yeah, it's when you were a kid, you had more time to play these games because you had less games, right? I mean, your parents were buying you whatever, so it's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna keep playing this until I'm done.
Yeah, games like $80. That's my one game this year. Is this
right? Yeah. Exactly. I think Mario 64 was my first N64 game. I think it was, and then Ocarina.
For me, it was Mario and Wave Race. I had those two to balance each other out.
I think mine was Pilot Wings and Wave Race. I didn't
Pilot
have Mario
Wings
first.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, it's just it was really cool. And
you know what holds up in this game while watching you play it, I thought, was the music. Like, I know it's not like highest quality, but the tunes, the actual melodies, the way they're structured.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this music is stellar in this game. Still
really it is really good. And I like Dire Docks is really fun.
Yeah.
It just kind of has like a nice soothing vibe to it. I don't know actually if you were listening in the moment where I was like, oh hey, I have this like metal version of this on this guy on YouTube that I found that like it starts really soft and then he kind of like starts ramping it up, which sounds really sick. But like that's what I love about like these, all this music of these old games. People are so inspired by it. They have the nostalgia for it that they like turn around and like kind of create their own versions of it, which is really fun, and kind of hearing different perspectives of that. But yeah, the music in 64 is super, super good.
Yep.
It's very memorable.
Yeah, man, you crushed it.
We were hanging out for a little bit there. I appreciated that. Thank you.
It was a good time.
Nice to have you there.
Got some good people in there, and other streamers. I like the way that they drop by and you guys all kind of give each other props and shout outs and all that. It's a lot of fun. I don't know all the terminology and what all the things are and all the summoning and all the gifts and the coins and the doodads and the whatchamacallits.
The doodads.
I feel like an old dude when all these things are happening. Everyone's like, "Oh, just hit slash and do this," and I was like, "Man, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll just watch."
Oh man, the channel what?
I'm just gonna watch and comment.
You sound like my brother-in-law because like I've literally had to like pull up my phone and be like, this right here is your channel points. You can do things when you click on it. Like I had to show him because it's like it's right there in the corner. If you just pay attention, I
did tap on it and then I saw some options and I was like, I don't know what these things do. Am I paying money? I don't know what this is. Yeah. I don't want to.
So everything in there, Tim, aside from like say there's one that's like highlight message, which is like that's Twitch, like, and it'll be like if you redeem that, like it'll highlight what you're saying in purple people in the chat. So if you like really wanted to make sure I was like noticing something you were saying, you could
And
do
it just
that.
does it for your next message, basically.
Yes, yeah. But like all of that stuff in there, I've created myself. So
That's
like
fun.
I literally the painstaking work of like editing things together, like through
What about
editing
like all the little
software.
dances and animations that you make, purchase, or somehow get those created? Almost all those, you did those?
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is on YouTube. Like you basically like if you Googled like Super Mario green screen, like you'll find like what is like somebody took really they're the ones that did the work. Somebody created the like put the green screen sort of stuff surrounding whatever the image is, and I just take that and I like rip it from YouTube essentially, and then I upload it to like a editing software, and then you just basically remove the green screen part, so it's just showing you the image that you want.
I think my favorite one, it was so freaking cozy, and I think you stepped away or something, but it was a little animated screen of Mario streaming, it looked like, and his little Mario cap was like hanging up beside him as he's like sipping his drink and like on the computer. I was like, that is so cozy right now.
Yeah, I found just like a little playlist of like cozy, like a cozy rendition of Mario music, and and I just put that. Yeah, that you can literally find on YouTube. That's just like it's like an hour-long playlist of Mario music.
And is that just like a loop of someone made those animations?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So somebody basically animated that, and I love the pixelated style stuff. Like I've been transitioning to that overall look, the pixelated, because all my emotes and everything like I found drawn ones in the beginning, and then now they're all pixelated because I just like that style.
Yeah.
That retro.
You do a great job of that, man. What's up next, or what else are you playing that you want to highlight for this week?
So going into the new year, I'm gonna start Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster 1 through 6. I'm thinking I'll go in order. If I feel like maybe I'll take a break after this one, then I'll do that and kind of like jump into something else. But yeah, I'm gonna finally start 1 through 6, Final Fantasy 1 through 6 on there. I created some new overlays, so things are gonna look different. Like once I start those, I've pretty much put that all together. A lot of pixelated stuff going on.
Yeah.
But I tend to like have something else a little more cozy along with the RPG, like something like a platformer, of course. Like I do obviously clearly a lot of Mario, so I'll do what should I'm trying to think. I did World. What's the next 2D?
Problem is there's some really good DS ones that'd be kind of fun.
But I'm trying to like I guess like in my head I'm like, I'm like sticking with like the main ones because I was thinking Sunshine in my head, but then I'm like, I just did a 3D Mario, so I wanted to jump to whatever like made sense the next Mario. But I guess I might just jump into Sunshine. I don't know.
I mean, if you liked the new Super Mario Bros. Wii, that one's a good time. They've got that out on Switch too.
I don't have that one.
That's fun. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
And of course, there's always Mario Brothers 3 from the NES. If you want to go back in time a little bit,
you have to go back.
Go back.
I started with that one, so I've done that one and Mario World. So I did both.
Did you go all the way, or did you just like do a whistle ending where you played like 15 minutes and
fast forward?
Did most of it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've gone all the way through that game. Like anytime I go back, I still I'm like, let's just whistle to the end. Who cares?
I don't think I used any whistles. Yeah, I don't think I did.
Nice. That's awesome. It makes for a better stream to go see it all. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to like go through the worlds again and be like, oh yeah, like because you know.
Again, it's been so long, I might be surprised what worlds I don't remember. Like because I've skipped it so many often.
The one it's not technically a side-scrolling Mario, but it's the Paper Mario Brothers that was on Wii.
I was in your dorm.
No, it was Super Paper Mario. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
And they do a really cool. It's side-scrolling at times, but then it like turns into think like Sonic, those running games when you kind of go down a corridor, sort of like that. You can turn the level. So like you're going down a side-scrolling platform, you turn it, and now you're looking at like a corridor. You can go back and forth almost in a 3D. So it's very weird and creative, and
that's
I think it's an awesome one. I think it's one of the more unsung ones. 2007 is when that one came out.
I'll have to take a look because if not a side-scrolling 2D Mario, then I'll probably jump into Sunshine and see. I've never finished Sunshine, so I don't know if I'll actually follow that all the way through. Yeah, I don't know. Like it, but how I remember. But
I like that one. I don't love. I think some people love it more than I do.
Yeah,
but I like it.
Aside from all
the same boat as Tim. Yeah, I like it. Don't love it.
Yeah. It's still better than most 3D platforming games ever made. It's just not as
I
good
mean, it
as
was probably the best 3D platforming game that came out at that time. You know,
Probably,
what was
yeah.
GameCube? Was that GameCube?
Yeah, that was GameCube. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then aside from all that, I finally started Alan Wake.
Ooh.
One? Nice.
Okay.
Very good game. Yeah.
I'm pleasantly surprised by how good this is.
Well, the mechanics are not deep. You have a dodge button, you have a aim flashlight button, you have a shoot button. That's like it, you know. So like, there's not a lot to age there. But yeah, that's cool. How far into it are you?
I think I'm about 50. I think I just finished. Is it act or chapter 3?
Okay.
I fell down
probably.
really far.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think like, oh, like I'm dead now, and it's like, and then somebody helps.
It's not a lake, it's an ocean. Yeah, good stuff. It's a great game.
There's
Totally
that.
not a. It's an easy game to understand.
Yeah.
Easy story to
The
understand.
first one's easier than
everything's
the
normal.
second one, that's for
The
sure.
first one's way.
Oh,
The
yeah.
second, I got some
Yeah.
things to say about the second one. I'm playing that one. But anyway, dude, I'm glad you're playing the first one. I enjoyed my time going back to play that. I think it was last year or something like that. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I just like the vibes of it. I like
Yeah.
this mountain town that's just like
Very Twin
quiet. And
Peaksy, yeah.
yeah, and it just, I don't know, it just has like a cool vibe to it.
Then you're gonna love the second one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of, I don't know, just a random little thing, like right in the very beginning when you're in that boat that's taking you to what's the town called?
Bright Falls.
Bright Falls.
Bright Falls. Like how you're having conversations with your wife, but like you're actually like in game on a boat, and like it's moving closer to Bright Falls. It's not like a cutscene. It's literally like in game.
It's very Uncharted to me. Like,
yeah,
like Uncharted
it's just something
kinda
I
take
noticed.
a moment for the characters to talk while like something else is kind of going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's that old man in the front. He's like, "Hey, want to take a picture or whatever?" And like everything's just happening in real time, but you're getting closer to Bright Falls. It's just, I don't know. It was just something really cool about that. But yeah, I think I'm finding it to be very, very interesting. So I'm looking forward to.
I like the pacing in the first one a lot because like you'll go to the cafe and you're just like, you're here for a second, like talk to everybody in the booze, do this, do that, and then you can move on if you want, or you can skip all that. Like, yeah, you can do as much digging as you want to do. They do that a lot in the second one as well, but I like that Remedy likes to just go, hey, this area is kind of cool and these people are kind of interesting. Maybe take a second, you know?
Yeah. People like to talk in the game. A lot of just like chatter, a lot of things going on, a lot of
this story about stories has a lot of stories in it. Yeah.
yes, a lot of storying going on here. Is there DLC with like? Is there anything else? Can I just play this game?
American Nightmare, but you don't
American
need to play
Nightmare.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't need to play.
I mean, you can. Some people like it.
It goes into Mr. Scratch, who's kind of important, but you can also just watch a YouTube video because it's not a great thing to play through. In my opinion.
I didn't think it was all that amazing.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
It was also like $1 on sale once, or like, you know what I mean? It's like it's been super cheap. But,
it might be quick enough where like it's maybe worth going through. I forget how long it took to go through, but
yeah, maybe.
And then there's the Control DLC, right?
Yeah, very important. I'd
That's
say, yeah, but like I think that they talk about enough what happens in 2 where like you don't need to play that DLC. So
yeah, I'm trying to just get like my bearings of like what to follow story wise to get to 2 and be like all like caught up. So
good luck.
It's good.
Yeah. You can be all caught up and 2 will start and you'll be like,
yeah, you can walk into it pretty prepared, but you're gonna be watching some YouTube videos. I'll tell you what.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I'll watch videos. Yeah, that's fine.
So. The good thing is, even when 2 doesn't make a lot of sense, it's still somehow a whole lot of fun, regardless. So yeah,
seems like it.
Yeah. All right, so
that's pretty much it.
That's it for Dan. All right, I am playing Alan Wake 2. I'm about halfway through, looking at the walkthrough kind of like missions, like what's left. I'm about halfway through. Some major turning points in the story have happened, although I couldn't really tell you like what totally is, like a new, let's call it faction, I guess, showed up for Alan Wake 2. I thought that was interesting, the way that happened.
Another challenger appears.
Yeah. Oh man, and I had gotten through, I played that level because I had seen it already. I kind of knew it was going to happen, but I saw the level that was the performance at the Game Awards. And it is, it's that these people are out of their minds who made this game. It's absolutely stupid. It's
Welcome
so
to the
stupid.
asylum, Tim.
But it's so captivating, and yet like what are they doing? Like, what
Yeah.
is this?
They're really going for it, man. They're taking some swings.
But I'm saying, like, if you watch that performance of the Game Awards, like, that was a weird interpretation of the game. No, that's in the game. Like that's in the game. That whole dance, even that whole like not thriller dance they do, it's all in the game. So yeah, it's something, man. It's something else. This game is just wacky and creepy. There's times I'm just like, oh my gosh, that is terrifying. Like that, it gives me some stupid jump scares, but that's just because it'll hit you with, especially if you have headphones on, it'll hit you with like this loud boom, and then like a face will show up on your screen and it'll go away. Like that's happening.
Cheap but effective, man.
It works.
Cheap but effective.
It keeps me like tense as I'm playing. I'm like,
yeah.
But yeah, having a lot of fun with it, even though I'm taking it slow. Because those games do start to stress me out when I play them for long sessions.
Sure.
Resident Evil 4 was kind of the same way too, where even though I played that game 1,000 times, I'm like, I could play it.
That's enough of that for now.
I felt like I ran through that whole section scared, so let's just take a break.
Speaking of Resident Evil 4, I still think that game is like the gameplay of that and the combat of that is, of course, it's better than Alan Wake 2 in my opinion. But Alan Wake 2 does some really cool Resident Evil-like things with its combat and the way you explore, the way you get items, the way you move your inventory around. There are times when I kind of get Resident Evil vibes from it, and I mean that as a compliment, not as like it's ripping it off.
I even think Alan Wake 1 like was kind of a product of like the Resident Evil 4 app. Remember when Resident Evil 4 came out, and then we got those close-in third-person, behind-the-back third-person action games. You know, like this was very much a product of that time. So. It's interesting to see them still kind of lean into the Resident Evil especially like you said with inventory, the attaché case and space and stuff like that. So,
some really cool stuff they do with the mind place with both characters. You use both Saga and Alan as main characters.
Actually, I have it on good authority that part's stupid. So
I've heard that too. Yeah. But I find that stuff to be fascinating, and you also need to make sure you're safe when you go to those places because you're not pausing the game. Like you can get
exactly.
The idea is that you're thinking. Like the idea is that as the character, you're going into the space to organize your thoughts and like process.
It's actually a good way to keep your finger on the pulse of the story too. I know maybe some of the bigger elements don't make it onto your case board, but like it's a good idea to remind you of what you're doing and why you're here and yada yada to kind of ground you into the weirdness that this game takes you to.
I agree with that completely because it'll even ask questions that I'm kind of wondering. So for as confusing as I would say the overarching narrative is, the reason I'm still being pulled along with it and enjoying the confusingness of it all is because I feel like I'm trying to figure it out with the characters. I don't know that I'll understand it at the end any more than they will.
I think you will. I hear that there's enough there where you're like, okay, it won best story, and a non-coherent story probably wouldn't win.
It wouldn't do that. So. Right. That's true.
So
that's true.
I'm assuming from what I hear and what I understand that like you're going to be confused for about 98% of the game, and then the last 2% you're going to be like, all right, yeah.
But the good news is I don't think it's confusing in a way that's frustrating, and that's one clarification I got to make.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't find it off-putting. I know some people might, and I totally get that. It's it's personal.
I think some people want answers quicker than others. Yeah.
Sure. And that makes sense. But I'm really digging I just like it. I like the lore. I like the world. I like not totally knowing what's going on, but kind of knowing like here's generally who I'm for and who I'm against. I think. But I might be manipulated. I might be confused. I don't know what's real and what's not, and I don't really know what the power entails. But I know there's power there. Like I don't know. It's intriguing to me, and I felt the same way with the first game in a lot of ways, although it was a little more straightforward in some ways. So anyway, all that to say, I'm having a good time with it. I'm absolutely going to finish this game, and it's a good one. It's a very, very good game, worthy of all the accolades that it got, in my opinion. So loving that one. A couple other quick ones. I am playing. I shouldn't say am playing. I don't know how much I'll really keep going into it. I played a couple hours of Diablo 4 the other night. Really, really good ARPG. Like there's not much more to say about it. Like it is. Diablo's always been the pinnacle of what ARPGs should be, and every other ARPG seems to kind of try to copy the mold of what they have with leveling and looting and the world and monsters and everything. The feel of the combat, and so I think they nail that pretty well. I just. Not really feeling that that's the kind of game I want to play necessarily. Also, I feel like in most battles, maybe it's just because I picked Necromancer, I was just kind of holding the same button down or hitting the same button the whole time.
That's about what I did. Yep.
So part of me was like, okay, but I just didn't feel like there was any. I don't know. I didn't feel like I was doing much. I kind of felt like I was just holding a button down. I don't know.
Is
I know
that just a
that's-
necromancer
that's-
issue, or
That's
just a
Diablo,
necromancer issue. Yeah, that's just a necromancer issue.
Oh, okay.
Because when you're
Okay.
playing as a rogue, you're kind of all over the place, and
Oh yeah. Okay.
it
Okay.
just kind of depends on the class. There's other classes too, like sorcerer. You're just kind of standing there, range.
Yeah, when I was
attacking.
barbarian, it was still a button hold, but you kind of have to be a little more. You definitely have to be more mobile.
Mhm.
Yeah, Necro
But I
just
will say,
benefits from
it
the
felt
attacks that are
really-
stationary.
It does feel really cool to like raise and then over time start to upgrade your little army, and that
Yeah,
all very cool. Like that, there's nothing to say that I don't think that's good. It was more of just kind of like, okay. I don't necessarily feel the urge to go back to it, but I thought it's really cool looking too. The design is amazing. The visual fantastic. So I can see why this game was appealing to so many people. And based on some of the menus I saw and some of the way I was getting pinged nonstop from the time this game loaded up, and anytime there was like any in between, if I go back to a menu, I feel like they were constantly telling me like, make sure to buy, make sure to get the thing, make sure. Like I just felt like, I don't know. Sometimes
Blizzard,
sometimes
Blizzard Gun
when the game-
Blizz.
Yeah, when the game does that, it pulls me out of the game a little bit. Like I don't know, a game like Diablo 4, there's so much lore and it's so this cutscenes are unreal in this game. The cutscenes are beautiful and so well done. They're directed like movies. And then you see this thing, make sure to buy the battle pass, and I'm like, you pull me right out of this game. You had just
leave me alone.
You had just gotten me like sucked into the lore, and I'm kind of like, it's immersion, you guys. I was immersed into the game, and then they just, I don't know, that stuff pulls me right back out of it. That's all I'm saying. But I do like it. I see why people love it. It's a very cool game.
There was something about this one that didn't click with me with as much as 3. I don't know why. Okay. There was something about 3 that me and my
like a hater.
Like we finished 3, like my wife and I, and like 4, like we were playing, and I don't know, just something wasn't. I don't know.
There's a lot of people who hated 3 too. They said that 3 ruined the franchise.
Sure.
There's a lot of those people.
Yeah.
Chad Colchin from Dudesies, one of them.
Yeah, he is. But I've heard a lot of people that love 2 and they thought 3 was the worst. And I remember playing 3 being like, this game's pretty fun. And I feel the same way about 4. I'm like, this game's pretty fun. What are they talking about? But
yeah,
it is a little predatory. That is how Blizzard does things. Ever since Activision bought them, Chad Colchin from Dudesy is right. Ever since Activision bought them, their approach has been very different to how they treat their players. But that doesn't mean the games at their core aren't good or fun. They are. Right. In my opinion, like I still think Overwatch at its core is a solid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even though I don't like Overwatch, like obviously there's something there,
Yes.
like so regardless of how predatory it is or how much everyone hates the second one, it's still one of the most viewed and played games like on every platform. So
that's right, man, and it feels good to play like the good core gameplay, good core mechanics. So anyway, I do like Diablo 4, but I don't know that that's gonna be like high on my priorities to keep plowing through for this season. I got other stuff to play. Alan Wake 2 being one of those things. And then I put up a little let's play of After Image. That game's pretty stylish and pretty slick. I do recommend checking that one out if you haven't yet. It's also on our channel if you want to watch the opening 23 minutes or so of After Image.
I own that, and I've owned that since launch, and I have not played it yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think you like in April or something, right? Does that sound right?
I don't know what to tell you. I've been busy.
Yeah, come on, man. I will say this, for a side-scrolling kind of Metroidvania action platformer, all the buzzwords, it is all those things. It's got great music. The visuals are really sharp. I like the visuals, but I don't. There's 2 things about the combat and movement, I guess, that I don't like. One is the jumping. So when you jump to an edge, I'm very used to the characters and platformers automatically either hoisting themselves up or at least grabbing it. So I have the option then to hoist myself up. And in this game, you hit the ledge, and unless your entire character's whatever that block is that the code is kind of reading that you have to be above, like if your character isn't above it, it falls. Like there's no grabbing, and I didn't really think that'd be a huge deal until you're playing it and you're like, this is annoying. Now, thankfully, there's a good dash. They have a good dash move, which is great, but like generally speaking, that is a pretty annoying feature. Now, maybe that's an upgrade later. Like you can now hoist yourself up on ledges. I don't know, but I don't think so. So that's one thing that I noticed. And then with dodging, you can't dodge through enemies, which in a game like this where you're getting attacked a lot, there's lots of enemies. Connecting with the enemies gives you damage, which is pretty normal, but you can't dash or dodge through them. So you have to dash only away from them and then try to get back close to hit. I didn't realize how annoying that would be until I'm in combat, like fighting, and I'm like, oh, every
It's
time I dash
frustrating.
towards them, it
You
hurts
jump
me.
up and then dash like behind.
Yeah, if you can get high enough, because some of the enemy, like one of the bosses early on, this wolf boss, you actually fight him a couple times. He was too tall on a couple of his attack runs. You can't jump over
Yeah.
him. So I was like, what am
Yeah.
I supposed to do here? So anyway, it's fine. It's
I
it's
swear
a
to God, there
cool
was a
development.
game that I played that was like you can dash through it, and it was a newer one. It was like a 2023 game, and it felt really good to do that. I can't even remember what it is now. I don't
Well,
know.
there's the Trinity Fusion. You can do that. That one.
Trinity
with,
Fusion. Thank you. That was the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that's kind of Dead Cells like. That's a cool
Yeah.
one. And then I play a little bit of Pizza Tower. This game is definitely made by people who love the
Pizza
Wario
Tower.
Land games. They love Wario Land. They love it. And this game plays a lot like Wario Land. It's a lot of like, if you remember Wario Land, it was a lot about like momentum and speed and bashing through things. You're just big fat Wario. You're just bashing your way through levels. And this game is very much that. You're going as fast as you can. You're gonna jump. You're gonna kind of crash through things and go underneath things, pick up ingredients and enemies and throw them. It's wacky. It feels very much like a Game Boy Advance game. So anyway, it's worth the look though if you like kind of old 16-bit.
Dude, yeah, I love that crude art style that's like Earthworm Jim inspired. It's so silly. It's like a Genesis game. It's so silly.
It's like Ren and Stimpy, the game, like that
Yeah,
grossness.
yeah. It's very crude.
Yeah, I played it
Very-
late last. I actually recorded a little session of it late last night. That'll be on the channel at the end of this week. And especially when you're tired, your reflexes are bad. This game requires a little bit of sharper reflexes. So I'll admit right here on the show, it's not the most impressive opening playthrough. I ran into the wall a lot. Like I was like, okay, I'm not very good.
I
at
did that
this.
all the time, and I
Yeah.
I do that sober or drunk. It doesn't matter. It's I'm not good at these type of games, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be playing it much more. But I did play this one too.
Yeah, it's a creative little thing. A couple quick demos I played. Cygnus Enterprises. Don't necessarily recommend it. It's trying to be like Rift Breaker if you ever played that game. But I thought it was really too talky and the mechanics aren't that good. 8-Bit Adventures 2 reminds me a lot of old school like Final Fantasy where it's first person battling and RPG like turn-based battling. And it really is 8-bit. Looks like an NES game the way you move around in the world. Really good reviews on that one. People like that old school style a lot. I'll let Jeff talk about the Cub. I played that demo. I thought that was really interesting. And then Turbo Overkill, which I highly recommend if you liked Proteus or Bolt Gun. We talked about that earlier this year. Bolt Gun was really cool, really fast-paced, kind of 1632-bit first-person shooter throwback, but it's cyberpunk setting, which makes it a little more unique. It's not just like demons and aliens. And you also have a chainsaw attached to your leg. So when you run and slide, your chainsaw comes up and slices through anyone in front of you. And if you're going down a hill, you just zoom through all the enemies. It's really satisfying to do that. So anyway, Turbo Overkill, highly recommend checking that one out. If you like fast-paced, insane first-person shooters, just blood everywhere. So much pixel blood all over the place.
Love
All right.
Pixel.
So that's it for me, Jeff. You played a little bit of the Cub, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even finish it because I was already sold on the game. I was like,
It's pretty
I'm
short.
good.
It's a pretty
I'm just
short
gonna buy
demo.
it.
I got to the end of the demo. It's pretty short.
Oh, I figured. I think I was like one part shy of completing the demo because there was a part where a Martian saw me, and by Martian I mean an astronaut. Humanity has like since inhabited Mars, and it's an astronaut that came back to Earth to take samples, and he saw me, and he was starting to chase me using his like lasers and shit, and drones. So he saw me, and that's where I was like, I'm good. You know what? I'm good. I'm good here. I'm gonna buy this game. But dude, the hand-drawn animation. Dan would love the animation style. It's straight up hand-drawn. It looks like a cartoon or something. It's so cool.
The Cub.
The Cub. Yeah.
The Cub.
Yeah, you play a human that's raised by wolves on Earth, and Earth has been kind of abandoned because it's unlivable. There's a lot of creatures and stuff that are that can attack you, like if you get too close.
Like mutated animals that you recognize.
Plants
that
too.
creepy.
Yeah. So there's a lot of the platforming. It's not an action platformer, but the platforming is kind of like, oh, there's an enemy there. I have to run or I have to jump over it in a creative fashion to get to the next part of the. And it also rewards exploring. It's not a Metroidvania type of map, but it does reward exploring. At least to the side somewhere, you'll find some type of Easter egg or something like that. On occasion, which is really cool. I just love the way that they're world building through like listening to you find an astronaut's helmet, you put it on, you can listen to the radio, and through the radio you can hear a lot of the what's going on in the world and how things currently are. Super rad.
Some interesting songs.
Some cool songs, pretty indie-rific songs. I like them a lot. I'm all about this game, dude. I'm pretty excited for it. It definitely does feel like AA in terms of like, you know how sometimes you could tell when the text comes across the screen, you're like, oh, that doesn't look like it's expensive text. Like it just looks like cheap, like default text from I don't know, Adobe Photoshop.
Like, is that Arial? Is that what they're using?
Comic Sans? What are you doing? So there's that element of it where it's like, this is clearly AA, but I don't know. I feel like the action of the actual character moving, it looks so good. I love how it looks like on a hand-drawn, like cartoon level. It looks really cool. Yeah.
I agree. There's something about the animation too when you're moving, not just the look of it, but when it's in motion. You know how a lot of Sony animated stuff has this weird, almost like low frames per second style to it.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that as he was running. And I don't think it was because of the tech is bad. I think it was a purposeful style choice. And I don't mean if low frames per second is probably the wrong phrasing, but something about the animation that had a little bit of jitteriness to it that was interesting. I thought it looked cool.
I agree.
So anyway,
I'm super
also
into
weirdly
this.
crude, right? Like he collects these flower fruit things and then burps. Like there's just these weird like I don't know. And the kid is he's like
burps are collectibles. Yeah, you eat them and then you burp, and it's like 3 out of 11 burps.
I would describe it as like Planet of Lana meets Jungle Book, because you're like this kid who's been raised by wolves. That's why you're called the cub. And so you're avoiding humans, but you are human, but you're like curious and exploring, but you can't really fight either.
Yeah, you can't really do, at least at the part of the demo that they showed us. I don't know. It would be interesting if they did give you something later in the game. I feel like it would be a different game at that point. But I
mean, maybe to stun them or distract them. I can't imagine you'll ever really fight. You know? But
the way he moves reminds me of Abe from Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. Yeah.
He like moves like literally the way he run his animation like reminds me of that a lot, which is interesting.
Hey, that'd be a fun game to stream. Do the old Oddworld games. There you go. Those are fun.
I you know what's funny is my wife actually knew about those games more than I had never really played those at all until like later on. There was like the remasters and
both
remakes.
Both of them
and all
are
that.
Great. Odyssey and Exodus are both fantastic.
Hard games. Yeah.
Agreed. Oh, what else you got, Jeff? Anything else you were playing?
Oh yeah, I played in trying to do some Goaty homework because we got those debate episodes coming up.
That's right.
I played some Dredge. I don't think I'm in the mood for this type of game.
I hear you.
More of it, but it is good. I'm not going to deny its goodness. But yeah, it's definitely like a fishing inventory type of game. But there are definitely supernatural elements that are very apparent very early on, especially when it's nighttime and you feel like the Eye of Sauron is watching you. It literally an eye pops up.
It zooms in on you, and it's hard to see. Yeah.
And I love that. And actually, that is
as
kind
you get terrified, the eyes moving around and shaking.
Yeah.
As you get scared. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't even last that long. If it's 7 p.m., I'm already at the dock. I'm like, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done for the day. That's one of my more irrational fears of being on this planet is being stuck in the ocean at night.
Oh, yeah.
Out in the middle. Because if you see any videos of what that looks like, it's complete darkness. You see nothing.
That is a valid fear.
So that's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like Dredge is capitalizing on that for sure. In a really smart way. I love the animation style. It's not voice acted, right? So I'm just reading.
No. Yeah.
But I like the animation style at least. That's cool. And the ship upgrade process. I like that more stuff becomes available to you, the more the side missions you do. It's a good game. It's good. I'm just, it's kind of like, I don't know if I'm in the mood for more of this. I like it. Not yet, at least maybe, And then World of Horror was another one. I think IGN rated it as one of their favorite horror games of the year. And it's the game that's like made entirely in MS Paint. It's like I would say it's all black and white, but there you can change some of the color schemes. And it's very impressive what they were able to do. My understanding is like you have several runs of the story where you can play as different characters. The first run that I did, it's not my kind of game. So I played the first run and I was like, I'm not feeling this, and I uninstalled it. I got a refund. I am not feeling this game at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's interesting what they're trying to do. It's more of like a narrative clicking, whatever you call it, clicking, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know words, dude.
Channeling your inner Sasso right there. I like that.
I don't know words, dude. Shit. Fuck it. So the whatever. So you're just basically just clicking commands that are coming up, and like they're giving you like story options of like, do you go this way and confront the monster, or do you wait here and stuff like that. Anyway, I died like maybe 6 clicks into the game. It didn't take me long at all. The horror monster thing killed the crap out of me. Really cool soundtrack that makes it really creepy. Sound effects are really creepy for being such a low res game. And it's very clear that you're running like a simulation on a computer because it's like a screenshot. It's one of those type of indie games where it's like a screen grab of a computer monitor and you're playing within the computer monitor. Yeah, it's just not for me, but people seem to like it. I mean, if you look at the reviews of it on Steam, I'm the minority here. So that's another one I've played. And then what else did I play? Oh, the Cub demo we talked about, Pizza Tower you talked about, and I agreed. I'm in a stand-up comedy special phase apparently. I can just speed run through some of these. I watched Sam Ray, Salute Me or Shoot Me. She's good and sometimes she's not. That's all I can say about her humor. It just works for me sometimes, and sometimes I'm like, you're way off base. I don't understand where you're coming from with this. Stavros Halkias, am I saying that right? Fat Rascal, his new special on Netflix.
Okay.
He's a funny guy.
Very funny. Do not bring your kids to this one.
Yeah.
He is a Big J Okerson, very, you know, crass.
He was kind of going viral for crowd work, and he does include, I would say, half of the special is crowd work. There's a lot of him pointing out people in the crowd and talking to them.
And that's his specialty, yeah.
Yeah, and he's so good at it, and he's so good at just riffing. Trevor Noah's new one, I was surprised to say I like it because normally when I watch his stuff, not for me. I feel like he's mostly focused on he could be coming from a genuine place. I don't know him, but it's mostly coming from like a place of trying to appease a certain base, and it kind of annoys the crap out of me. But this special was really good, especially when he was talking about other countries' national anthems. Like the German national anthem it's pretty much set melodically. It's set, and when they changed it after World War II and the Holocaust, they only changed the words. It's the exact same beat. Oh,
interesting.
And he made a joke about how if Star Wars the Rebels beat the Empire, if they're like, what, that song that they chose is like really offensive. Like it's not the song. It's obviously it's the score. Da 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 da. He's like, well, we should change it up. Right? Yeah, totally. Da 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 da. So like melodically, it's the same thing. So crazy. And then he points out how like in America we treat our national anthem like anybody can sing it any way they want to, like, oh, say can you see?
Oh yeah.
And like any other country you do that, it's like, what are you doing? Like it's just so crazy.
As best displayed by Maya Rudolph in the SNL sketch where she sings the national anthem,
or Fergie doing the best rendition.
Well, and she was trying to do it. Maya Rudolph was trying to be funny, but yeah, you're right. Fergie was.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. So I was surprised at how the quality of the special. Don't get me wrong, sometimes there are some moments where I'm like, all right, dude, okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, but and that, speaking of Trevor Wallace had one on Amazon called Pterodactyl. It was kind of funny.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Nice.
And then a movie that I watched that Kyle will appreciate. It's called A Disturbance in the Force. It's the documentary about the Star Wars holiday special from the 70s. That
I saw that sitting there on the. Was that on
It's on YouTube now. You can watch
on YouTube. Yeah.
The special. Yeah. But it goes through the history of like how it was written, and especially because Bruce Vilanch is one of the writers. He's still alive, so he was trying to talk about what the hell they were thinking when they wrote all the stuff, and how George Lucas kind of pissed off maybe a quarter of the way through making it, that the writers just kind of were like, well, maybe we should do like the Donny Osmond thing, because there's a lot of like variety hour specials from that time that were just trash. So they chose to just lean into that and make it just an awful hour plus. It's like 90. It's way too long. Yeah.
I watch it every year, so I would know.
And it's funny.
It's my favorite November activity.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it, even though like I saw the documentary, but I feel like the documentary filled me in plenty. And they did highlight that the Boba Fett animated thing was like George Lucas's baby, and that it was his idea at least. And that was like the only like highlight of the thing that was like
that
really
rocks.
cool.
And you can
They've
just
never
watch
done
that
anything
on its
like
own
that.
on Disney
Yeah.
Plus without having to
Yeah.
watch anything else.
There you
Right,
go.
true.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, or at least many of the talking heads were just like, that was like one of the coolest thing they've done in Star Wars up until that point, like the Boba Fett thing, because you never seen anything stylistically, animation wise, like that before. It was kind of like not heavy metal.
They broke new ground. They broke
I
new
would
ground.
say heavy metal's a pretty good frame of reference. I mean, like not exactly that, but that's a pretty
not
good frame of
exactly, but
reference.
it's yes, absolutely. It was that of that era before it was even a thing to reference, which is really cool. But yeah, they filled, they had a lot of talking heads that were comedians too, like Taron Killam is in there, and Paul Scheer. I know he's got a movie podcast and stuff, so of course he knows a lot about it. Kevin Smith. And then, of course, people that were participating in the special, in the holiday special, like I mentioned, Bruce Valanche. I can't believe he's still alive. If you saw a picture of him, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, this guy." All right. There's other people too that are like producers and stuff like that were like, "What the hell are we thinking?" George Lucas, they only cropped out interviews from other things that he talked in about the special. It's just a good hour and a half thing to remind you that things could be worse than Star Wars.
Oh my gosh.
Anytime you complain, just think about this.
That's a good way to think about it.
And this was like right after the first movie. Empire was literally being made. So there was no legacy to speak of to tarnish yet. But think of if there was. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been crazy. Yeah. Anyway.
I'm pretty sure it only aired the once, too, like on TV. Yeah. So, like, when you're watching it on YouTube, that's somebody's like VHS recording, or not even like I don't know how you would have gotten it back then when it aired in the 80s or whenever it was
70
something. Yeah,
78
I don't know.
Or 77.
I honestly like someone had to have had like an original raw copy of it.
Yeah,
and like uploaded it and digitized it because like they'd only aired one, like everybody only really saw it one time on TV. So
they did. But that's the thing though, back then when like you had 4 channels and everybody just watched TV at night all the time. Because if you didn't watch it, you missed it. That was it. So yeah, I don't know how it happened. I assume it was through the good graces of various good Samaritans that have like just passed around the footage from the studio or something to get it on YouTube.
Someone kept it alive. Someone kept that abomination alive.
Unlike
I get
those,
to watch it every year, so
yeah, true. Unlike those missing Doctor Who
episodes
episodes where it's kind of like the guys are hoarding the tapes from those episodes, and they're like, no, you don't get to have them, and it's like, well, it's not really. I get it's your property, but people will compensate you first off, and also you should probably share this with the fans. Like, I mean, it's just not whatever. That's just my take on it. But anyway, very informative, very very funny. I just love the whole what the hell were they thinking aspect of it. It was just very fun, and that's all I have.
All right, Kyle, what about you? Anything else you're playing as you wrap up your year? I know that, correct me if I'm wrong, you had said that, hey, I'm not sure I'm playing as much right now.
Yeah, I haven't been here in 3 weeks, and you'd think I'd have like a laundry list of being like, guys, I can't wait. I don't. I've been very boring for the last couple of weeks. So, I'll just name off a couple things, and we'll get moving along here. In terms of games, I did check out the Pokemon Indigo Disc DLC. There's more, guys. There continues to just be more.
Same as last time with the other DLC, Kyle, right?
There's just more, man.
I love that.
So much emotion in what you're saying right now.
There's more.
If you want more, there's more.
There's more.
Is there more, frames per second?
It's just there's just more, buddy. Okay.
But not
there's no more frame. No, things still pop in. Things still run at like 12 frames per second.
So the things that we need
they
more
just
of,
gave you more, but not more fixes. So
sure.
Yeah. What a thing that is. We got grifted a lot this year, guys.
It's a thing.
A lot of us got taken on a ride in a lot of different properties.
So
we
true.
all just kind of rolled over and showed our bellies on it. Anyways, I've been playing a lot of GTA Online. Man, I could talk about this game forever. This game's so much fun. I've been playing a lot of it solo. You can get into private servers now where people can't like jack around with you while you're trying to like make money with your businesses. I'm having the time of my life playing this game. It's so much fun. I bought a flying DeLorean. That's been great. Saving up for a Batmobile right now. I'm running cocaine as across the cities and
America.
And I'm living the American dream, guys. Yeah. It's super cool. I'm just having a good time with this game. Yeah, I'm real businessman. I'm going to my nightclub and making money. I could just talk about this game forever. There's so many cool missions.
That's awesome.
I haven't played it in years, so there's tons of content. Everywhere I look, there's something new to do right now. It's just very fun. It's snowing in the server right now.
Wow.
Their version of the
That's cute.
Grinch called the Gooch will just pop out of nowhere. I'm not making this up. He'll just pop out of nowhere and take all your
Of
money
course.
and run. And if you kill him, you get his whole outfit.
Nice.
You can also go on a Yeti
The
hunt right
Gooch.
now, so you can hunt for a Yeti, which is this is old school, guys. I don't know if y'all remember the old
Yeah,
Bigfoot
yeah.
I
stuff
remember.
from San Andreas back in the day. Well, now
I
you
remember
can
that,
actually
yep.
hunt down a Yeti in this game and
Yep.
take its outfit, and you can wear a Yeti outfit or whatever. The snow's really cool. Everything's
Cool,
really cool.
whatever.
This game's just really great. No wonder it continued to make millions of dollars, and no wonder they didn't want to move on because, you know, like
Yeah.
if you could just make money from like making little micro updates and great. I also got my hands on, it's so weird. I feel like I'm the multiplayer guy in this podcast now, which like that's not who I am at all, but like but you'll see I tried out that new The Finals game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Completely
Yeah.
destructible environments. I was on
Mhm.
plenty of matches where by the end of it, no building or anything on the map was left standing. It was just a flat ground of rubble. Very, very, very cool. I cannot believe they got something like that working in a free-to-play game. Feels pretty good. It is buried down by microtransactions and people who are
Sure.
too sweaty. So if you really want to have a good time, it is really hard to just get in there and have a good time without like just someone being on just a completely different level in the game. So I guess the matchmaking is not so great and everything like that. I think it's a really solid idea. Much like a lot of these free-to-play games, like I play like 3 matches and delete that bad boy. So that's kind of what happened here. But if people are really hungry for a unique first-person shooter game and they don't have money right now, that's a really good option. So give that a look or don't. Doesn't really matter.
Do what you want. Who cares?
Who gives a shit? Who cares? Yeah. Check out
cares?
that. No, I'm kidding.
I make no money from this, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
don't
I
care
do.
how you spend your time. The movie-wise, I did see The Creator finally. Jeff was right. This is a Kyle movie. Wow. This is probably the most beautiful movie, visual-wise, I've seen all year. Content-wise, seen it before. Very familiar. I keep on liking it to entry-level sci-fi. So if like you have like a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a family member who's like, I've never asked the question, what if androids felt things? I've never asked that question before. This movie might blow your mind. However, we've seen this story before. I will say it's
Sure.
the best looking version of the story. It's a competent tell-in version of that story. So while we just ripped apart Rebel Moon for kind of stealing ideas, but they do it in a lifeless way. There's a lot of life in the way that they take ideas and create a story
Totally.
here. So
Totally
there's a
agree.
right way to do it and a wrong way to do it.
Yep.
I like this movie a lot. Again, it's just very beautiful, great cast. Cannot believe this movie looks as good as it did on the budget that it had.
Yeah.
You can watch this movie on Hulu right now, so I highly recommend it.
Adding that to
Yeah, it's good. It's a quick watch too. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Show-wise, I haven't been watching a lot of TV. We kind of talked about some of the TV we were watching. I only watched a couple comedy specials. Won't spend a lot of time because Jeff talked about Stavros. That was one of them. Again, very raunchy comedian, but very funny. And I watched Mike Birbiglia's special from earlier in the month, which was also very funny. Very good storyteller there. So, that's about all I've been doing though.
Birbiglia.
Great ending on that special where he's talking about somebody that died, and he's telling everybody not to laugh, and it goes on for a long.
We're all gonna stop until we have a moment of silence. And no one in the audience can stop laughing.
can't
He's
do
like, we're not gonna move on with the show then.
We're
So we
not.
all take a moment. And he keeps on describing how the guy died, and it's the silliest way that a person could die. So like no one can take it seriously, and very good special. He's good at
It's
what
funny.
he does.
I remember seeing him randomly in A Man Called Otto. He plays kind of a jerk type character in there.
Yeah,
That's funny.
he's the guy from like the property or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like,
He's the one who's trying to be the mean one to all the residents
Yeah.
there.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
exactly.
Yeah, they get the
Even though
nicest
he's
guy
coming
in there
off
to
like
play
a
him.
nice guy, he's literally just enforcing policy. But he's just like, it is quite funny. When he pops up, like he's like the most
Agreed.
innocent looking guy.
I know. Hey, we need basic white guy. Mike Birbiglia. He could do it.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Bigaboo.
A couple quick headlines before we do a couple games. Baldur's Gate 3 confirmed is not going to be on Xbox Game Pass. Larry and I said they've been asked this 1,000 million times.
I knew it wouldn't be.
They're like, it's not going to be on Game Pass, and of course, it just if you like to chuckle at dumb things that Microsoft has said, just like every company has said dumb things, they were the ones who originally on their internal emails were kind of like, we could probably get it for 5 million guys on Game Pass, probably pretty easily.
I forgot why this was news, but that's why. Yeah,
that's
okay,
why.
Yeah,
People are like, hey,
I forgot all about
Microsoft
that.
thought they could
we'll
get
get
it for
that
pretty cheap.
dumb game that no one's gonna play.
They totally undervalued the game, and you know what? Even the developers were like, you know what? Microsoft wasn't the only one to do that. Literally, the entire industry thought
everyone
we weren't going to.
did. It's just Microsoft's the only one who had their stuff leaked, or I guess revealed through the court cases in order to have that.
I like how not only is this game really cool, but its Cinderella story outside of just is also very cool. Like there's a lot of cool things going on with that game.
Yep. Insomniac has broken its silence on the extremely distressing data breach. We won't spend a lot of time on this just because it's frustrating and it's sad, but I'm curious what you guys think about it. Of course, on Tuesday, a ransomware group released more than 1.3 million stolen files, including, it said it totaled 1.67 terabytes of data. It contained information on their future titles, confidential staff information, which to me is the most egregious of all of it. Like releasing their early work before it's ready, I think it's a dick move. It's not nice. It's unkind. It's mean. It's bad.
Yeah, someone just got put away in prison forever for it, or I guess
then releasing
GTA guy,
releasing like personal information. That's just doxing people. That's horrible.
Like, I don't understand the point of this when you're gonna get caught. You're gonna get caught.
So they of course were trying to ransom this info for $2 million.
I mean, the GTA guy tried the same thing. It's like
and he's in jail now.
He is gone forever.
So 1 week later, they followed through on their threat, reportedly releasing about 98% of the stolen data. It included a ton of personnel info as well as plan for Marvel games, which we won't go into because I don't think it's worth going into until they're officially announced. It's so far away. But the sad thing, I think, is that it includes an early alpha version of Wolverine. And only idiots will download that, play it, and think this is what Wolverine is. These guys suck. Like it's the same thing with the Grand Theft Auto 6 thing that leaked early. It's like you guys think that they start a game and it looks like it looks at the end? Are you stupid?
That's exactly right.
Whatever.
I'll be honest though, I haven't even the only thing I looked up was that roadmap that I found on Reddit and I shared with you guys on the chat. Which is obviously that can shift a billion times between now and
Inside Games, Bruce and Lawrence have a really good video about I wouldn't take all of this with any sort of real.
It's like Microsoft
very, very well.
It's just like Phil Spencer saying it'd be cool to buy Nintendo. That'd be great, you guys. We should buy Nintendo. That doesn't mean Microsoft made an offer or actually tried to. That was just
right. It was just like, hey, wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah. Disney is one of the biggest examples of them showing us their roadmap, and look how often Marvel roadmap changes, shifts and changes, and not even because of legal reasons, just because of reasons.
What do they have? One movie coming out next year?
That wasn't the case 2 years ago. Whenever we saw the original roadmap, so it's just that's a good example of how that goalpost
2024,
moves.
wasn't it? Wasn't the first Avengers of this next phase supposed to hit in 2020? I thought there was a. Okay, maybe I misunderstood.
No, it was 2025, and then 2026 was going to be. Or actually, it was the same year. Remember, it was going to be 2 Avengers in the same year.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah. And they
part
moved
1
on to 26.
And all of us were like, they're going to move one. And then they did. They moved one of them.
I just followed Kyle's example of delays, Ari. That's what
the footage that I saw, I was scrolling through TikTok, and I saw the Wolverine footage, and I was like, this looks my brain functions. So I thought this looks badass because the final product is going to be amazing. That was my thought process. Like it looked so cool. I can't wait, dude. Oh my god!
Man, but the fact that it's all just all over TikTok like that, it's like,
thanks guys, appreciate it. Yeah.
But again, it's the personal because I mean, it's really when you boil it down to, it's just at their core, the people that did this are pieces of shit. Yep. That need to be just knocked the fuck out and then sent to prison. So because I mean that's just not okay.
It's such a shame because it actually takes a lot of talent to hack on this kind of level, and for you to take such a talent and I don't know, use it
such
for
a waste of
evil
time.
or whatever you want to call it is so weird to me. And also, like Jeff said, you're gonna get caught, so it's just like you get your one moment in the sun of being the guy that did it, and then you get thrown in prison. So
they are. I don't think they're as Rockstar rich, but they do have Sony, backing them, so they could easily find whoever did it easily. I mean, my company encountered a hack to, not a data hack or an exposure, I think, but something related to somebody was trying to penetrate our network, and we found who it was, and we blocked all that stuff. So you can find it if you have the resources, and they damn sure do. They're rich. So I mean, of course they do. And also I'm just like Rockstar, I kind of understand why not that I want to empathize with a, like what Dan said, a piece of shit human being. But I kind of understand what the impatience was coming from. Like, we haven't seen anything from them. They keep shutting down, online servers for like Red Dead and all this stuff. They're not giving us more stuff, blah, blah, blah. I see where the hacker entitled mindset comes from. From Insomniac, I don't get it. They're giving us great stuff consistently. Why? I just don't understand why. Is it because they have an exclusivity thing with... I know. Is it an Xbot that did it? Like,
I mean, it could be that
was it
Phil
Spencer? Phil Spencer did that.
I just don't understand why. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, honestly, it could be that. It could just be that.
Yeah.
I think someone's trying to make money. I think it could be as simple as someone's looking for weaknesses in all kinds of different areas. They found one and they got access to something, and like, I can make money off of this, and so they.
Yeah.
I think it's as simple as that.
What a boring.
They did put out a particular ransom with a certain money amount. Like, I mean, it's.
I think it's just selfishness. It's just greed. But I was thinking about because at first I'll be honest, I a little bit rolled my eyes when people were talking about how hard this is for the developers. I was like, oh boy, the poor big corporation. But then I started thinking it through, and I actually do feel bad for them. I was like, because I work in a world of delivering projects, and it takes me a while to get something ready, and I deliver it, and then I might go back and make some tweaks. But for the most part, that's the thing I delivered. If I am like just at the start, and all I've got are some notes I've scratched out from maybe some meetings, some requirements gathering I've done, and maybe I've done a little quick, wireframe build, like, maybe this, maybe that, and then someone releases that and says, look, this is what Tim built for your website. I'd be like, whoa, that's not what I built. Right. Now my work looks like it's crap to everyone. No one's going to want to, I'd be panicked that no one's ever going to want to hire me because they think that's like, so as I started thinking through practically what that would feel like, that really sucks. That sucks a lot. So I feel for them.
Real bad.
Yeah. Thankfully, I think most people in the games industry, at least that's the public vibe I'm getting, supportive of them. They understand that this is just a there's a few people, of course, who no matter what happens, they're going to hate on Sony and on Insomniac. That's fine. They're idiots anyway. So that hasn't changed. And they're going to be like, oh, look, this is what Wolverine is. Oh, my gosh. Like, okay, they're idiots already. I think most of us look at this and
they did the same thing again. They did that with GTA. Like, look how bad this looks. And then everybody on Earth watched the trailer 300 times, when it drops. So it's like...
Yeah, it like outpaced a Mr. Beast video, which is impossible to do.
Yeah. It is the most watched thing ever on YouTube.
Yeah. I think even Mr. Beast talked about that. I saw some statement of his like, yeah, they beat my record. So anyway, all right, let's move on from Insomniac stuff. The good news with PS5, it hit a 50 million unit sold benchmark this past month. It's almost on pace with what the PS4 is. And that might sound like a detriment, but it's not. PS4, of course, sold at record numbers through its first, I think we're at 160 weeks was the number I saw. And so it's only a little bit behind, like not very much, but I think PS4 was at about 51 million units sold at this same point, and this is at 50. That means it's at an insane pace. Potentially.
An insane pace during a time of like national recession and stuff like that. Right. So it's like,
and the shortages of the consoles too. Think about that, right? So very impressive, very well deserving. That's a great console. Even though I still think it's one of the ugliest designs, it's one of my favorite consoles to use.
I agree.
That's just a personal preference. Some people love the design. That's fine, man. It's fine.
I have yet to meet someone who loves the design, but
who honestly loves
it. Love is a strong word, but
ponies are not equipped to criticize anything that Sony does, so they just kind of brush it under the rug and ask you a different question about how shitty the Xbox
I don't have any big feelings about the design. I don't think
me neither.
But
I thought the PS4 design was super slick. I thought it was very smooth.
Me too.
The design.
I think I care enough to have an opinion about that. I think that was a better looking console.
Just from the PS4 to PS5, I was like, all right, this
just putting a sleeve around it is weird, like a cape around it, like a Doctor Strange cape
like a
around
vampire.
Yeah,
it looks like a
Robert Pattinson.
The era where I was graduating, where everyone was popping their collars like idiots.
Pop a collar.
I definitely
we got the collar.
I did do that
get the collar
time.
pop.
I bet, Jeff.
But I will say, I gotta be honest. Like if I have, and I did this with Alan Wake 2, did it with Star Wars earlier this year, with Hogwarts. If there's a multi-platform game, for the most part, I've preferred to play it there if I'm going to play it on console compared to Xbox. I like the controller a little bit better. Not a lot better, but a little bit better.
I know we're a bunch of Xbots here on this podcast, but I think we can all agree that I think we all play mostly on our PS5s, and I think any third-party game that's going to come out on everything, we probably all choose PS5. Just like that's kind of what we're all seem comfortable with. So
right.
Yes,
Depends on
I mean
the,
it's selling well because it's a great console. I mean,
It's
that's
excellent, and it's got great
that's-
first-party games.
Yeah.
For me,
I
it's
mean,
more
the
dependent
best
on
in the
like,
biz, maybe. You know?
yeah,
So,
definitely. Well, for me, it depends more on like if Xbox says this is Dolby Vision supported, I go, okay, I'll consider it for Xbox.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that looks
Gotcha.
good on our
does.
Kyle and I have the same
Yeah.
TV, so it looks good on
Gotcha.
that. But yeah, I didn't get that Spider-Man controller for nothing, dude. I love the way that thing plays.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
It's a great.
Agreed.
I love the PS5 haptic feedback, smart. You know, all the smart stuff they put on this new.
Yeah.
It's just doing more than what the Xbox is doing. That
Yep.
you know, in the controller department. You know,
Guys,
so.
it made me feel like I was opening doors for real in Final Fantasy 16. I had to like really pull down on that right.
Yeah,
on that
Yeah.
and you
R2.
feel the vibration, and it's not too
Push the door
not too
open.
heavy at all.
Really
My
push it
index
back
finger
right
got
now,
jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't get me
one
wrong. It
hand
might
is
be the
muscle,
reason
had like a
these
muscle.
controllers break down so often. How much is in them, but you know,
Sure,
they are
sure.
very cool though.
Kyle already talked about more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. It's getting a free epilogue on January 11th if you have the expansion.
Oh, I didn't hear about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen
That
on
means
More,
it's ending.
more, huh?
Okay, cool.
More.
It's getting
guys.
more.
I can tell you what this won't
Hey
have
guys,
is
it's more of it.
it won't have more frames. I can tell you that. It won't have more frames.
Oh my gosh.
God damn it.
Wow. Yeah.
God damn it.
All right, couple quick things here. Sea of Stars has hit over 4 million total players, and they couldn't say sales because it's on Game Pass, of course, which is
Sure.
where a lot of the players are playing. But that is a significant number for a small team
Yeah.
that made this game. What a great
Amazing
success
feat
story.
for them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
And
I like to
clearly,
take
I'm
us
the
on a,
biggest fan. I think I beat it first. So
Okay.
I like to take us on a roller coaster ride, guys. We're going from like Insomniac stuff to PS5 sales benchmark to staying up here with Sea of Stars, and now the day
Mhm.
before we'll shut down in January.
No.
I love
less-
that. You really played. This is a really nice pacing, Tim. Yeah.
Less
What a
than
roller
2
coaster.
months
Zack
after
Snyder
its
to talk to
release.
you about pacing. Yeah.
Should I go more slow? Sorry, that was too fast.
No.
Yeah.
Now you're learning from him, and we don't.
Okay,
do
my
that.
bad, my bad.
Is this the snacks Zack Snyder of video games, guys? Is that what
The
this
day
is?
before might be it. Listen, this is one of the
Yeah,
funniest
yeah,
stories.
that's funny.
Also, there's a report. Steam hasn't confirmed. Valve has not confirmed this. There's a report that Steam is considering just refunding everyone who bought it, like because the developer and publisher won't,
Yeah.
obviously. So they're
Sure.
considering doing that.
yeah, they
Even
want
though
to
they
take
said
whatever
they
check
would.
comes to them in February. Yeah.
Well, they said they would. They're like,
Yeah,
we're
they're
going to
so
refund
shady.
everybody. I'm like, you don't have okay, whatever, that's fine. Yeah.
Well, after we pay back everyone we owe, we're like, you're never going to
Yeah.
pay everyone back. It's just not going to
No,
happen.
So lawsuits are going to happen, right? I mean,
There's gonna. I
everything-
think there's
definitely.
going to be
has to
lawsuits.
be. Yeah, there has to be, man.
Yeah, I'd like
Yes.
to join that. I wish listed this thing, and I'm mad about it because I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I didn't get
The
it.
most wish list game of all time on Steam,
Yeah.
and this is how it turned
Dude.
out. Like, it's so crazy.
As
yeah.
soon as I saw the trailer, I wished list that so fast. I was like, "This
Yeah.
looks
Me too.
awesome."
Yeah.
Yeah, we all got duped. We already talked about South Park, the Snow Day game. It did have an official reveal of the release date for March 26th. Cool news! It's only $30 for the standard edition on
That's
PC,
incredible. That's the best news.
PS5,
Yeah.
Series X, and Switch. And I think the deluxe edition is $50. And I actually did not look up what that includes, but there's a deluxe edition. I'm sure it includes a bunch of bonuses.
Well, this is like a multiplayer action RPG. I don't know how. We need to see in a gameplay overview or something, and I'm sure we will because it's a few months away. But I do like knowing that Trey and Matt are involved in this because it's clearly their voices on it. There's no knockoffs. It's new lines. They're talking about New Kid, which was your name in the other two games from Ubisoft.
So
New
it's like
Kid
in that universe. Like,
Yeah, exactly. They're talking about New Kid, and they're doing like the Stick of Truth type of cosplay. So
sure.
they're clearly like, it definitely feels like Matt and Trey are involved in this, even though it's not. It doesn't feel like it's not like an episode of South Park in a video game. So it's 3D and like stuff like that. It feels like the N64 game, which was terrible. But
Oh my
except
God,
I
that game.
could pee on a snowball in that game. So technically, how bad is it?
True.
guys. I got to
But
tell you
I'm
this.
pretty excited about this game, honestly, just to see what it is, more of what it is. Honestly, that's what I mean. Penis. Butt
Nope,
penis.
It's in freeze.
Freeze?
No, that's just his regular face.
See, you said pea snowball, and then Tim just exploded, like a pea snowball.
I love that face. That's a good face
Yeah,
to
I
freeze
know.
on.
He's got a good dad face on right now.
At least it's
what
not
did
like
you just say? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
what
you know,
did Jeffrey just pee on a
Oh.
snowball? I'm
Oh,
gonna
there he
have
is.
to-
He's there. There he is.
There he
He's
is.
back.
Oh, I think my connection hiccuped because you guys all froze. So I was like, "That's me.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
me thing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I was telling them that your face froze in a totally normal looking position. Like it wasn't like
Which
a,
it did.
What was it?
No, it did. Yeah. And
you were actually like,
for once. They caught you on a good frame.
it was like
yeah.
you were smiling. Yeah.
What? You silly kids.
Tell
you know,
me,
just kinda-
tell me more.
Sitcom
Guys,
pose.
this is so funny. I just now saw this that the South Park Snow Day, of course, standard edition is 30. That's awesome, great value. Deluxe edition has an additional game mode, extra cosmetics and weapons. That's 50. There is a version, I think it's 200, maybe 220.
What the
That
hell?
includes
220.
it includes a talking toilet roll holder.
Oh, a Cartman. Yeah, I heard about this. Yeah.
Sure.
I did buy a Starfield watch, so this is not off the table.
It's
for
got
me.
Cartman the Wizard sitting there holding your toilet paper.
Nice. Nice.
And there's the collector's edition also has a snow globe with Cartman in it and a beanie. That's
pretty cute.
That's pretty cool.
Wow. I wonder if it's the colors of what, like they're all different colors, but like for each of the 4 kids, the main 4
That
kids.
is
or
pretty
something. I don't know.
awesome. I like that a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Last but not least, the Call of Duty 2024 and 25 reportedly set to be back-to-back Black Ops titles. I think 2024 was already confirmed that it was going to be a Black Ops game.
That sounds like the right rhythm of
Wait,
things.
so
yeah.
they're gonna do it again? They're
They're going to do it
gonna
again.
they're gonna put a
They're gonna
Black
do
Ops
it
out, and then the following year it's gonna be Black Ops DLC, basically.
Yeah. But here's the good news, Kyle. They're planning it way ahead.
No,
this
there's
time.
no good news. Don't try and package this up like this is.
Also, I'm sorry, but like,
we
is Black Ops?
We gotta make a stand, everybody.
Is Modern Warfare and Black Ops the only 2 like franchises? Like
Those
they
are the ones
they
that
could do-
everyone likes. Yeah.
Well,
those are the ones
Advanced
that anyone cares
Warfare
about,
people
yeah.
loved that one.
Sure.
Is that
Yeah.
the Jon Snow one?
Yes, I think so.
The one in
Actually, you know which
space?
one I
Yeah.
really did love for real was World at War, their last big World War II one that I can think of, which I thought was really
Yeah,
fun.
that
At least
was
the
a while ago.
multiplayer was a lot of
So
fun.
it feels like it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like World at War. Okay, guys, let's play a game. Close things out. It's Christmas Day.
Oh,
For
boy.
those who are listening, we're gonna play a little game. I'm not gonna share my screen for this one. You just got to use your old brains and no searching. Okay, no
By the way,
Googling.
Kyle, did you see in the last episode that we looked at video game Snow? It was very fun.
Yeah, we did look at some video
That's
game
cool.
Snow last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, go check that out. It was very cozy. It was a cozy
Yeah.
little game.
It made me want to go play. I didn't do it, but it made me want to go play like Red Dead 2 and like
Yeah.
Rise of the Tomb Raider again. and-
Diddy
My
Kong
only
Racing.
input on that was seeing snow prints in the snow in Metal Gear Solid 1 was like the very first time I think I ever.
They showed that one, yeah.
You were in
okay,
there.
great,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, that was
You
that was
guys are
especially for
on
you.
top of it.
Yeah.
You guys are
Yeah.
pros.
All right, so
Gotcha.
we're gonna do a little game.
Oh, and actually, my remark when they showed that was, "This looks way better than I thought it would for a game that's that old.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it looks really good."
Yeah, it's
Metal
got
Gear
yeah,
Solid
yeah.
1, pretty all right. Pretty all right.
Pretty okay. Yeah.
It's pretty okay, you
I
guys.
talked,
You should-
I talked
pretty
another
okay.
soul into playing these games for the first time.
Oh,
Or
really?
not the first time. It's JD. It's the first time he's played it since he's played them. JD, me and.
Oh,
Jeff
that's right,
Smith.
because you guys did make references to it when we used to podcast together. Yeah, I was like, I would
so
be like,
he-
"Ha, sure, guys."
He's never
yeah.
played these as an adult, so he had kid brain when he played these games. You know. and
Oh yeah.
He's in the middle of one right now, and he's like, "Dude, this game's great. This came out in '99." I'm like, "Yeah, dude." That's
Yeah,
pretty
when you
great."
play it as a kid, a lot of the stuff is like right over your head. You're like, oh,
Oh,
this doesn't
yeah.
have any cultural or political reference to today. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's big stuff. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Okay,
Big brain stuff.
we're gonna play a game without looking anything up. No Googling. We're stealing this directly from Game School. We're playing video game 20 questions, you guys, and I've got a game picked out. As a reminder, here are the rules. You must ask only yes or no questions of me. Once you make the official guess, the game is over, so you can't just name 20 games and hope that that's one of the ones I picked. Asking about words.
Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3,
Asking-
Uncharted 4.
Asking about words it rhymes with or letters in the name counts as an official guess. So
Okay.
don't do that. Don't be like, does it
Arnold
rhyme with
Schwarzenegger.
Schmed Dead Redemption? Like, no, that doesn't. No, that's not it.
Yeah.
Also, the release dates, because that can be confusing. It just based on North American releases is how I did it. So, like, if it
Okay,
came out in
sure.
Japan a year before or whatever, like that doesn't matter.
Merc.
Okay, so those are our rules.
That's where
Let's
we
jump
are,
in. I've
dude.
got the info pulled up. I'll do my best to keep track of it. So I'll let you guys kick it off. Yes or no questions. You got 20 to guess this game. Go.
Should we ask if there's farting in the game? I don't know why I went there
I
immediately.
mean, it depends on how many games average wise like has farts in it, you know.
yeah, because that would narrow it down significantly.
I mean, it's like playing.
yeah.
It's like playing Guess Who, and they knock down one after the question. You're like,
Yeah. I guess the right questions to ask first are: did this game come out after the year 2000.
Yes.
There
Wait,
it is.
after the year 2000?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like at the beginning
So,
of the year
well,
2000?
2000 on,
2000 and on, yeah.
Like January. Okay, yeah.
January 1st, 2000
Yeah.
to today. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yes.
So it is a
All right.
this century game. Okay.
So what? PS2, Xbox, and on.
Yeah, I mean we can narrow it more.
Right.
Did this game come out before 2010?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you got the decade.
Oh.
Cool.
So yeah, I
So,
mean that's actually
should we
still
ask
pretty
about
big.
console,
That's PS2, that's PS3.
So what?
Yeah.
What
Generations.
console exclusives were a thing back in that decade, right? I'm not crazy. Okay. Should we ask if it is a console exclusive then, or?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Hey Tim. Hey buddy, I got a question for you. How you doing?
Hey Jeff.
That's not my question.
Yes.
Hey, really quick, just a quick question. Hear me out though.
Good question.
Is this a console? Are there farts? No, there's not farts. Okay. So is this a
You went rogue.
console exclusive?
Yes, it is a console exclusive.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
All right.
And we narrowed down the console, right?
I got it, guys. Fart.
Yeah.
Fart Mayhem 3. No,
Yep.
I don't know.
Legend of the Fartastical.
Legend of the Fart. I'm a 5-year-old. This is good.
Was this a Nintendo or Xbox exclusive?
No.
So it was a PlayStation exclusive. Perfect. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right.
Was it? So then we try to narrow whether it's PS2 versus PS3.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. So let's do.
So-
Dan, do you want to take the honors on that one?
Is it a PlayStation 2 game?
No.
Okay. So PlayStation 3, Sony exclusive. Oh boy.
Genres?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
Genres would be the next logical guess. Yeah.
Action.
Yeah.
So we can do what I just did a second ago, where we ask like a couple different genres. Like, is this a fighting, racing, or action game, or is this an RPG, first-person shooter?
Sure.
Or so like that's. What's
Call that question clumping. That's what we call that.
Yeah, question
Question.
clumping. Yeah.
Wait,
like
is that a cheat
Clumping.
code? Is that a cheat code?
There's no rule against it.
Is this a? Well, wait. Before, let me check with the panel here. We can say, is this an RPG? Well, I don't know. Sometimes this is gonna bite you in the butt too.
Well, sometimes games can be, like an action
Multiple
RPG.
things, yeah.
You guys would be more. I didn't own a PS3, so I actually don't know of the exclusives other than the obvious like Uncharted or something.
We could ask
much like how games are today. Most of those games just came on PlayStation 4. So.
Right.
Yeah. So you'll be able to.
Well, Infamous died there, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Infamous came to PlayStation 4.
Oh,
no, that's true. Yeah. There was a launch
Second
title.
Son.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
We could ask if it's like first person versus third person.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, take it away, Dan.
Yeah. Is this a third person game?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Uncharted.
See,
Mhm.
I like how I started asking as a joke. Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, Uncharted 4, and now there's a possibility. Let's just say.
A Lair, I guess, was technically third person.
Oh my God,
but if Tim picked
I
Lair,
love that
I'd
that's
have a
the
lot of
next one
questions.
you thought of so much. I love
Yeah, I just.
I don't even
feel
know
like
what that is.
it's a dumb dragon game made by the people who used to make the Rogue Squadron games.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Greg Miller reviewed it and bashed it
Yeah.
terribly.
Jesus Christ,
But Greg Miller sucks. So.
Um.
Did Greg
He's
Miller
a nice
review-
guy?
No, I'm
I'm the Grinch this year. Just kidding.
All right. So
Tim,
PlayStation
did you like
3
Greg
game.
Miller? No, I'm kidding. That's not
we can ask, do you shoot in this game? Do you shoot guns? Like that's usually a pretty.
Do the thing.
Do you shoot guns in this game, Tim?
No.
Okay.
So no guns. No
So
guns.
No Metal Gear Solid. No. No Uncharted. What are some places?
We could ask. So I mean,
third person, no shooting.
Infamous. Does Infamous have guns?
I guess it doesn't.
no, well, you're a superhero essentially, or a supervillain.
Yeah. Should we ask it? Are you?
Is it
this
an
a
action
superhero?
game?
Is
Yeah,
this
because
a
I mean, it's
superhero
like
game?
it could be because you either have powers or like if we could clump powers / magic together if that's what you're using.
Or we can just straight up ask if it's a superhero game.
Go ahead, do it.
Is this a superhero game?
No.
Okay.
And it's a made-up game. It's not a real game.
Yeah.
You made it up, and you're wrong. You're wrong now, and we're right. And that's how it works.
Final Fantasy still in the mix? Final Fantasy 13?
Oh, it definitely is.
Was that how long has that been exclusive to
13.
PlayStation? Good lord.
Oh wait, no,
it
13
wasn't.
wasn't exclusive.
Yeah, it was on Xbox too. Yeah, because I literally
Yeah, it
just played
was.
it on Xbox recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not recently, but for Choco
Uh,
Bros when we were reminding Jesse that he was wrong about all of his choices. Um,
Shout out
Let's
Jesse.
see,
All
we,
right.
we were actually pretty
Guys,
agreeable
because
in that
it is
episode.
because it is Christmas Day, I'm going to give you a gift of a little hint.
And it's
Just
the title of
because-
the game. Okay.
No, I would say it's possible the confidence in your console narrowing is misplaced.
Oh.
Didn't we say Nintendo or Microsoft or something? Or
Oh,
what did we ask?
Well,
guess
there's
the
also
Vita,
PC.
The Vita was still around during that time, or other handhelds.
It was the PSP and Vita.
Yeah. We can ask if it's a handheld. Is this on
The handheld versus
system?
console.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Was this
is it
was this a handheld video game?
No.
okay.
Yeah, I'm completely lost then.
And by the way, I always answer these about launch because in this day and age, everything gets so like anytime we do these, like I'm usually asking unless you ask me, about a broader.
How does anybody remember? Check the tape. How did we ask? Did we ask if it was Nintendo or Xbox?
Yeah, I asked if it was a Nintendo or Xbox exclusive, and he said
Okay.
no.
The way I answered the very first question, I thought was a dead giveaway about something, but
I don't remember what the first question was.
Yeah, I thought it was how you doing.
Oh, the year. You asked if it was a 2000.
Yeah, so it came out in 2000.
Probably came out the year 2000 then.
In the year 2000.
So
you don't
that would be
shoot
a
guns in it though.
PS2 game then.
Year 2000.
Didn't we say no to
no
PS2?
googling, no googling. Just kidding,
Didn't we
I don't know
say
if
no to?
Yeah,
we
didn't
asked.
Yeah, I thought
Did
we
we say
asked if
no?
it was PS2,
It
you
was
said
not on
no.
the PS2.
So
Right?
if it's a PC game, I can't think of any that didn't have guns in it that I loved. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It's safe to say I have zero clue what this game is or what even any of the answers to any of our questions were at this point.
One of the Monkey Island games. Hey Tim, is it a Monkey Island game?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're not really asking that.
No, I'm not.
Well, so hold
Swear
on.
to
So
God,
are we just confused on whether it is?
I'm
a
confused
PS...
on all of it now. I don't know what year it came out, what console it was on. I don't know any of it.
It's between 2000 and 2010. It's not on Xbox or Nintendo. It's not on a handheld.
It is an exclusive.
You asked if it's on PS2. I said no.
No. So we asked if it was an exclusive. The answer was yes.
Sega Dreamcast was still out during that time.
True.
2000. Yeah.
True. Should
Definitely
we just
didn't
ask
own
if
that.
it's
Is this
was
a
on
Sega
Dreamcast?
game? Yeah. Should we ask that?
It is not. It is not a
It's
Dreamcast
not.
game.
Okay.
So this is a made-up game then, and
Yeah,
we
I
lost.
honestly have no idea.
You're not.
This
You're not
is.
on a horrible line of thought though. With
certain things. Okay.
Should we ask if it was also on PC at all, or are we sure like this is this was PlayStation 3 exclusive? Like,
I mean, it couldn't have been played. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know where we're at question-wise.
yeah, I
Are
really
we at
don't
like
know where
15?
I don't even know what's happening right now.
Yeah.
What's even
did
real?
this game come out on PC as well, or did it come out on PC?
Definitely not at launch.
Okay.
What? Okay.
What other
all right.
consoles are there? I literally. There's not a single other console that exists. at that
Atari. No.
There's no other consoles that exist.
You got. Does a Game Shark a console?
No.
Year 2000. No shooting though. No shooting of guns.
No shooting.
What
So-
the actual hell would you be doing?
It
then?
did launch as a console exclusive. Yes.
Okay.
What console have we not talked about yet, guys? That's the only. We've named every console so far that I know of that exists in the year 2000 through 2010.
Are we missing something? No, hold on. Well, no, you said Nintendo, Xbox. Okay. Is it on the Ouya?
You're not gonna really ask that.
Y'all remember the Ouya?
I thought it was pronounced Ouya.
Or Ouya, sure. Yeah.
No,
Ouya.
I'm not gonna even answer that one. I won't dignify that with a response.
That would have been a deep cut.
I wouldn't even know where to. I mean, I assume it's a platformer then if you're not doing anything else, shooting.
Kyle's like shut down. Kyle's like, I don't know.
You guys were on a good track, except for trying to like the release date's a tricky one. I don't know how else to say it. It's a tricky one.
Yeah. But I mean, if it's not on PS2, then it would be. I would think it would be the latter half of the 2000s, which to me, yeah, does seem like it would be PS3.
That statement isn't necessarily true.
So is it because the console exclusiveness came before 2000 and then it came out on PC in 2000 or something?
No, it was originally released in North America in 2000. You guys have that part.
Oh, okay. Oh, North America. Okay. Is this a racing game? Flight Simulator 2000.
Is that your official guess?
I don't know how many questions we have left.
You still have a lot. We're only at question 11.
Oh, then is it Flight Simulator?
just ask if there's flying in it.
All right, I'm actually gonna make it. You guys have asked 12 just because I gave several hints in there.
Yeah. Got the. I didn't play games back then as much.
I was too busy working out, getting
too busy,
huge.
you son of a bitch.
Too busy knocking up my nanny, and then I had the kid, the illegitimate kid.
This makes me want to Alex Jones out and just start screaming.
Dude, the thumbnails of him as Alex Jones make me every time.
Very good. Yeah, the wig really sells it.
The wig.
Oh my god! As soon as he puts it on, I'm like, oh, Sasso's not there anymore. Yeah, so funny.
Are we giving up? We only have 12 questions in. You got 8
I gave
more.
up about 10 minutes ago, so.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to derail. I was trying to help.
No, you didn't derail. You just, I mean, I don't know where to go from there. I've asked all my questions.
Yeah.
I have no idea what console it's on. No one else has any questions, so that's where we're at.
Yeah, I got thrown off by thinking, I guess, that it might be on a different console, but
me too.
Because we
literally can't even think of that. We've named all the consoles that I can think of. You guys haven't said any new consoles, so it's like there's a console out there that we're not thinking of. If we can't get that piece of the puzzle, I just don't think it's a guessable thing for us. So,
is it a platformer? That's a question.
Yeah, that's a question.
God, well, what the shit?
Is it an RPG?
So you literally burn them.
Let's just burn. Let's just burn.
All right.
An RPG.
Yes.
You turn the game on.
Is it an RPG? Yes.
Oh, okay. You turn the game on. It's an RPG, and you go, "Wow, what an RPG!" And then you turn it off. You go play another game.
I don't know, guys. A console exclusive RPG. Come on.
Is it Super Mario? No, we already talked about Nintendo.
Yeah, because it's not Xbox or Nintendo, so that's why we then started going. We started going down the rabbit hole of like, all right, well, it seems like PS3, but
and it's not PS2.
Because we asked, is it on PS2? The answer was no, right?
Correct.
Well, I'm pretty sure we asked.
I can see why you emphasize no Googling because you got us, buddy. You got us good. Let me tell you, hit DWLD.
I wasn't trying to stump you. This is like you guys all know
this is actually easy.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Fallout.
I wasn't trying to pick some like obscure
guns in that one though.
Pizza Tower style game that no one's ever heard of.
Commander Keen next.
Damn it.
Pitfall.
That's not an RPG.
Games. Yeah, I know.
The release date of the PS2 makes this tricky.
Oh.
But it's not a PS2 game, so why would that matter?
Yeah, I thought you said it wasn't a PS2 game.
No.
Oh, it's a PS1 exclusive. Okay.
Is it an end of the of the road PlayStation 1 game?
Is it a PlayStation 1 game? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
You guys would know better than I would. Like, it's got to be a turn-based something then, because I probably didn't play it.
All right, so
did we ask if it's a Final Fantasy?
No, ask it.
Was it?
Is
Wait,
it a Final Fantasy game?
Oh shit!
Is it part of the Final Fantasy series?
No.
Okay.
Still got four more.
Were those
4 more questions?
Exclusives? Come on, bro.
Well, they were.
They were for a while there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were then, yeah.
What's that
you could narrow it
turn-based
down by
bull crap you guys like? The Chrono something.
Yeah, the bull crap Chrono.
Nobody cares about those games.
I'm gonna slap
I like how
the shit
you
out of
introduce it that way and then name something we love.
Yeah.
it. Should we ask a
What's that
developer
stupid
so
crap?
we could?
Yeah,
Well, we
developer
should
would
have
be
instead
good.
of saying Final Fantasy, we should have said, "Is it a SquareSoft or Square Enix?"
Yeah, we could have knocked
yeah.
out a whole bunch if we did that,
Yeah. Do
Um,
you want to just start going down devs there? Or maybe.
I mean, we only have 4 left, so we got to be careful.
Man,
it could
I
be
had
a,
an-
it
I
could
had
be a
an inkling-
Sokiden game,
I had an inkling it
So we
was a
could end,
PS1
yeah.
game like 6 questions ago, and I just didn't follow the track at all. Shit. Sorry, everybody. Sorry to my
I
listeners.
still think it's doable. I do.
Sorry to my mama.
You got it. Sorry to my mama.
I
I know
I think
she's
this-
listening.
There's a lot of RPGs, but like Square takes up a lot of it. And then I mean there is Suikoden, and there are other random ones, of course. But
I think we should probably still ask the Square question, because if
if
it's not Square, it's probably Sokiden. If it is Square, it's probably like Dragon Quest or something we haven't mentioned yet.
right? Which again, because they merged around that time, Square and Enix. So
Yeah.
I mean, can we clump as SquareSoft? Is it a SquareSoft and
I don't know
or
enough about who
Square
became
Enix?
what when.
I didn't set up any rules about clumping, so
Okay,
You
so
can
is it a
clump whatever.
SquareSoft or a Square Enix game?
And or
yes.
Okay, so it's
Okay.
not Suikoden, it's not any
Well,
of
what-
those other RPGs.
yeah,
So
you
it's-
guys. I mean, you guys. I feel like would be more educated on this than I would. It sounds like.
I don't know
Oh.
a single Dragon Quest game from. I don't think it's gonna be
That
Dragon
era?
Quest. I just don't remember PlayStation 1.
Yeah, because it'd be Dragon
games.
Quest like 7, maybe. I know 7 was PS1. I don't know. If
Tim,
6...
do you think I know this game?
Yeah.
Like I know this game, so it's not a Dragon
But
Quest.
yeah, there's also Chrono Cross. There's Vagrant Story.
Jeff
geez,
wouldn't
I
know
mean,
Vagrant
this-
Story. I don't.
Yeah,
think
he wouldn't know
it.
of it. So I mean, it could be Cross. Jeff was trying to be a wise guy and say Cross as a joke, but it could be that.
Yeah, I was being an ass.
We can ask if it's a sequel or
True.
spiritual successor. I don't know. That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Um,
You could ask that.
Which one came? Was it Trigger first and like the
Trigger's
80s,
not a PlayStation 1
90s?
game, so we don't have to worry
Yeah,
about that.
90s or whatever? Okay.
Trigger was Super Nintendo, and then Cross was PS1. So.
Oh.
Yeah, is this a spiritual successor to a beloved game?
Yes.
Take it away, Dan. You got us here, man.
Is it Chrono Cross?
Yes, it is. Chrono Cross.
Jeff
did it, guys.
Y'all brought this one home. Yeah, good job.
Developed
Hey,
and
what's that
published
bullshit
by
you guys like?
Square.
That stuff that you guys like?
As soon as you said that, I was like, I can't believe he just named it and made fun of it.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. You son of.
That was so good. Oh man.
That was tricky.
job.
Yeah, the
As soon
PlayStation
as
1
you started asking the questions, I was like, crap, I didn't mean to pick a tricky one. I meant to pick an easy one on Christmas Day.
no,
And I
it's good.
realized
It's better when it's tricky because
It released
like,
2 months
half the
before
fun
the
is
PS2
watching
launched.
people bash their head
Right,
against the
yeah,
wall
yeah.
about something. Like,
Right,
that's half
right.
the fun.
It released 2 months before the PS2 launched in North America, and so
Well,
like
I mean, when
I didn't
so,
realize
like,
that.
yeah, the
timing.
PlayStation 1 era had a lot of probably leftover, like 2000,
Yeah.
True.
2001. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
because
wouldn't know.
Vagrant Story was late too, I believe. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, that's
very
what
much
we have
once the new generation starts, I'm like, get the other one out of here. Get out of here.
Well, but what was nice
Nudge
about
him out
the
there. You
PS2?
close the door
it
slowly
was-
like Michael
yeah,
Scott in
yeah.
Office.
Slam it and lock it and deadbolt it, We're
The
not
PS2
looking back,
good.
guys. We're
Backwards
moving
compatible.
forward.
Now, according to my little sheet here, we are as a team 3-1, 3 successes in this game. We don't play very often.
Did we
play-
miss? Was it an Arkham game that we missed?
correct, Batman Arkham Asylum.
That's what I
Ah.
thought. Yeah.
But you successfully got Shadow of the Colossus and Super Mario Odyssey, and now Chrono Cross.
Mhm.
So
Nice.
well done. Well done. The fastest one was Super Mario Odyssey. You guys got that in 10 questions. That was a quick.
Oh,
one.
nice.
Wow.
This one was
That's a good
19. This
record.
one was right at the buzzer.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What happens so after the 20th question? Is it like, oh, it's game over? And here's the
I like
answer?
the idea of you get 20 questions and then you can have a final guess if you want. So like
Okay. That's
yeah.
what I thought you were gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah. So well done. Good job.
I'm
Guys,
glad
ready
it
to
took us
close
that
out?
long for such a dumb game that you guys like.
I'm going to
I've never even
talk
played
about you
Chrono
so
Cross, so
Oh my God.
I didn't know that.
No, I'd
Let's
always
quit
been
the
told
show.
that like well, it's just not as good as Chrono Trigger, so I was like, well, I don't want to play it then.
It-
like growing
it-
up, obviously
it
I
is
have a
not
much,
as good.
I own it now. Like I obviously have a much different opinion about that, you know. But like,
Flip your ponytail.
yeah.
But Dan, it is.
Your brother.
Kyle's right though. Kyle's right. It's not as good as Chrono
Yeah.
Trigger. We have to admit that.
Oh well, I mean, they're two. I mean, that's the thing.
They're different.
It's
right?
they're both Chrono games, but it's
We
like
just asked
not-
Dan which kid he likes more. Is what we just did.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
listen,
I think
I
a
get
lot of
Trigger.
people thought they were getting a sequel to something, and they didn't. They got
Right.
something that just kind of was
Honestly,
more of a
I think
spiritual
that's a
successor.
lot of the anger towards that game. It's just the
Me
presumption
too.
that it was
No,
released.
that's kind of you were off screen
Yeah.
throwing a tantrum, so you didn't hear it. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I obviously have a much different opinion about that now.
That's right.
Like, you know, when you're a kid and you have other friends who are just like, don't play that. It's not, you know, like you get kind of
And
lost in the sauce a little
Actual
bit
objective
sometimes.
reviews gave it a 9 and 10 on
Back
average.
then
Like
they did.
Chrono Cross
It's, when
is
you're
game,
not a
it's an
kid,
excellent
like when
video
you're a
game.
game reviewer at that time, yeah, people loved that game. Yeah, but
absolutely.
It's
think,
an excellent video game, and to be honest, it's not connected to Trigger. So I mean, it's there are
not.
connections to Trigger. So
It's not connected. Well said.
not
connected.
Yeah.
Not.
It's not like those games that are not connected. It's not
Oh.
connected.
Yeah,
Well,
We're
sometimes
doing
you have
this?
to tie a knot with how many knots there are.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not connected.
The thing with time is if
The
you
knot not
tie a
connected.
knot around
It's
it.
a not tie. It's a knot of knotted ties.
Yeah.
My
The
my
knots.
ears are starting to bleed. I think underneath these headphones.
That word doesn't.
Right
mean
now is
anything
not the
anymore.
time for these
Yeah,
knots.
right now is not the time. Jesus, great. That's awesome. Yeah.
All right, guys.
I'm
We're
gonna have to do a 20 questions eventually about a movie or something on you guys.
Mm.
Yeah.
Obviously not something obscure. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, if
But
it's
you know
all
what I
about
mean.
the girl falling in love with cars.
He's like, and
stuff.
you guys missed Lars and the Real Girl. Sorry, guys. Y'all are gonna have to move on. Yeah, sorry, I lost
Dude, I
that
have
round.
the
Yeah.
Blu-ray of that. I got the Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray.
All right, we're gonna wrap up with a preview of January. Is how we're gonna approach this.
Sweet.
Let me see
love this.
here. Pull this up. Let's start with this. Let me share my sound. Here we go. Here's the first significant game of January.
Oh,
I can't see anything.
I'm here to
Oh,
save a
oh,
is it not?
I can.
I can
I
see
can
it.
see it.
Okay.
Kyle, you can't see it. I'm showing the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown trailer.
Okay.
So this one comes out on January 11th, and some of the cool story stuff I've seen for this has me really this story trailer in particular from the Game Awards has me pretty hyped. I think it's got a cool approach to the story. They even talked about their inspiration from the classic anime story.
Time no longer flows like a
So
river.
anime story structures, I should say.
Sure.
So
I'm here.
and of course, this platforming looks really cool too. So that one looks awesome. I want the whole thing, but I'm excited for this one. Here's another one.
I would not have guessed about its story, by the way. That's really interesting.
Here's another one called War Hospital.
Ooh, oh, sure. Wonder what this is about.
Guys, it's about a hospital in the war. What? So it's a story-driven management and survival game where you have to make choices and organize things.
Oh no.
All that kind of stuff.
I would kill so many people if I played that game.
Yeah, agreed. I would too, and I will probably because it looks like it's set during World War I with all the trenches, maybe.
Yeah. The trenches. It says the Great War. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be an interesting one. All right, here we go. Let's see what's next. We've got The Cub, of course, which
Yes.
Jeff and I talked about.
Gosh, dude. This
Uh-oh,
animation
it's gonna show me an
style.
ad. Hang on, I'll skip it. Don't worry.
Oh man, I love this ad though. It says, "Don't try this." That's a great
Don't
ad.
do
try
this. Don't do it.
Don't
What are
do
you
it.
showing me if you don't want me to do it? Okay. Yeah, I just love the animation style of
Yeah.
this. Oh
The
my
Cub
God.
looks really cool.
Oh wow, you get eventually you get like a robot thing chasing you. Jeez.
So it looks like, yeah,
that
The
really
Cub.
stresses me
Yeah,
out.
very, very. I know it does me too. All right,
it's like Planet of Lana if it were more fast paced, but you don't get a companion with that.
this
so.
game called Graven. People are saying reminds them of Heretic, which is not a game that I played.
Never heard of it.
But it's
Throat
got
singing.
it's a first-person kind of throwback visual style
Blameless convict.
with
Ooh,
some magic and stuff. So I don't know exactly what it's all about. But yeah.
Oh, I
solving
see the
puzzles.
pixelation. Yeah.
Eros invictum.
So it looks pretty cool. It's called Graven. It's a word that no one ever says for real.
Graven.
I'm excited
It's
for
not
this
a-
one.
it's not
This is going to be my next Valheim obsession, I think, if the gameplay is as good as the demo was. Called Enshrouded,
Yeah.
where it's
Heard a lot about this one.
action
too.
RPG,
dangerous
building
spark
stuff,
corrupts
all
the
that,
land.
all that good Valheim type
You
stuff.
Oh, you
But
say
the-
building, huh?
But the combat is better than Valheim from what I played in the demo. Because Valheim's combat is very simple.
Oh, you already played the
You
demo
will
too.
use
Okay.
deadly swords to slay
it
them.
looks
but
more in-depth.
the building was good,
That
but
is not
no
a
one can match
sword.
Valheim's building yet, in my opinion, in these
Okay,
games.
that's not
But it is
sword
pretty
then
good. It is pretty good.
Oh,
So.
come on.
But yeah, this
you
world
can't
looks really
just
cool. They've
dodge
got a really cool
everything.
engine. It looks nice.
Well, however
Yeah, I
you
like it.
decide to-
Yeah,
The
Uncharted.
perspective of this almost sort of reminds me of the later Fable games. Does that sound?
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, it's got a little bit of
Okay.
Fable / a little bit of a Immortals vibe. The characters are a little bit
Okay.
shorter. Yeah. All right, and then this little game is coming out on January 26th.
This crap.
Like a
Ugh.
Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
Lately, our old friend, the Seiryu
Oh, yeah,
clan's been
dude.
acting mighty suspicious.
So of
Well, I
course
haven't
looks
heard any of the dub yet. That's fun.
Kasuga-san.
yeah, it
I'm
looks
sending you to
fantastic.
Hawaii.
The English
Danny
story
Trejo
trailer.
is Dwight
Someone
Mendez.
there who
Oh,
wants
that's
to meet
exciting.
you.
Yeah,
It's
let's
your
just
mother.
jump to him real quick. Actually,
Machete.
Is he in the trailer?
Yeah, you see him
So
right here.
Machete is in this?
Trophy,
I think it's towards the end.
dragon. I really, really need your help. Like
I think it's in
right
here
now.
somewhere.
I'd take a bullet for a bud any day. Take cover!
Could have sworn he was in here somewhere. Maybe he's not in
You
this
can
one.
always turn a new leaf, but you can't turn.
Oh, there he
back
is.
the clock.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, I saw him. Yeah.
Look at him.
Looks like
Yeah,
they're
kudos
trying.
out.
So there you go.
Took his likeness for sure.
Yeah, that was his voice too.
Tekken 8 is coming out, guys. It's a lot of people
Mm.
punching each other and stuff.
Gone.
A lot of people.
That's January 26th as well.
Going somewhere?
It's another one of those absolutely massive worldwide games that our podcast crew happens to not really be into. Super.
I know. and,
Yeah.
Like I even
Kinda
have
funny.
like my life has touched Tekken before, but not
Yeah.
in a way where I'm just like, oh, I like that game.
Yeah.
This visually looks good. Like it looks great,
Yeah.
but
It
Yeah.
could have a
Matt.
great story mode for all I know too. I
Yeah.
don't really know much about this.
They've
game,
put
to
out
be
a bunch of
honest.
story type trailers, lots of like dialogue.
But yeah,
and
they've
characters
always
talking
kind of
and-
done that. Yeah, where
Okay.
like, and then you play the game and you're like, oh, there's just an arcade mode here. Okay, cool.
All right, guys, and last but not least, it doesn't have a date, but it still says January, and they're promoting it a ton. I've
The day
looked on their.
before. Sorry.
No, it just says January 2024, and they keep releasing videos showing like these new creatures in the most blatant ripoff I've ever seen. Pal World. This
Ah.
is the Pokemon.
That game's not
Oh,
coming out.
that's
Meets
right.
Call of
Oh
Duty.
my
That
god.
game's-
Come
yeah, I
on.
mean that's Eevee right there.
Yeah.
That's Gyarados, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know Pokemon that much, and I'm looking at this going, it's a Pokemon game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It still
Yeah.
says January, but
Electabuzz.
yeah. But the company Pocket Pair continues to put out content,
That's
like
Eevee.
announcing new monsters and
Oh.
abilities.
With the
Yeah.
guns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we're not going to watch an ad. Get out of here.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
no
Pal
thanks.
World's going to be. It's just going to be ads nonstop. So
Yeah, right.
anyway,
I'm
It-
very.
Is that going to be
psyched
the
for
next
it.
day, or day after tomorrow, whatever the hell it's called?
Yeah,
Day
I
before.
wouldn't be surprised
That's gonna be the
if
next day
everyone plays
before.
that game. It's a massive like trap that no one saw coming again.
Yep.
all right, so there you go. There's a little preview for January. I thought we'd look at trailers instead of me just naming them and us saying what we think about it. I
That's
thought that was a different
That's
way.
fun.
Sorry you couldn't see it, Kyle. Hopefully,
I used my imagination. They all looked so great in my mind.
did they sound good? They sounded okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right, guys. Next time we talk to you, it'll be 2024, and we'll be kicking off our Game of the Year Part 1. We plan on doing 4 parts. This year, there are going to be 7 categories that we are ranking together, and then there'll be a whole bunch of other things we fill in the blanks, like our favorite boss battle or whatever. But we're going to try to rank 7 shared lists, and week 1 is going to be best story and best music. So make sure you tune in for that
Oh.
next week.
This
Uh,
is happy, Doc.
It's going to be an interesting one. And then after that, we'll get into best performance, best combat, best small game, best visuals, and then overall game of the year. So it'll be a good time for us to fight each other a lot. And then we'll get back in normal episodes there at the end of January, just in time for Pal World, our impressions on Pal World.
Yeah.
When we're definitely all 100% playing it because
Yeah, we're all
Dude,
playing it, and it's
Dude, I am
totally coming out.
pre-ordering the $220 version.
The game exists, you
Wow.
guys.
Does it come
Yeah.
with also a Cartman farting,
Yeah.
you know, toilet paper
Yes.
thing too? Yeah.
Yep.
I think
That's
Pal World is
amazing.
safe to say, as we close out, Pal World is the Zack Snyder of video games. It is just
No.
taking every other idea it can find.
Yeah, I like it. Is. Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
And it just pushes it out there, just like
Yeah.
that.
There you go.
That's how it works. Hey, thank you guys for listening. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everybody. Hope you have a great week and hopefully you have time off to celebrate, play some video games, and we'll see you next time for Game of the Year debates. We're out of here. See ya.